Gym, Alex. 3D.
Oh, a new. Okay.
I'm saying maybe we can set you up with a fresh one.
Okay, maybe we can do that. All right, some things that have happened so far at camp today, though. Let's update you on where things are at. Some good news on the injury front for the most part. L'Jarius Sneed in pads, full go today. Haven't really seen that much. Shamari Connor back in pads. He joined us on our show last week, and then he didn't practice for like 3 days. He's back at practice. Drew Tranquil, we mentioned him yesterday, how it had been a couple weeks of just walking down the hill, not doing anything. He is back in pads and getting work in today. So that's a positive. On the flip side, not as positive. We don't know what it is yet. Josh Simmons not in pads, not practicing. And he was the player that we were discussing with Nate Taylor yesterday, who, because they were so banged up on the O-line, he was out there getting left tackle reps with the threes, which was
anybody
crazy.
But him.
So I don't know if this is, hey, we made you work a bunch yesterday, we're giving you the day off. Hopefully it's something minor, but we'll have to wait till after practice today to get word from the Chiefs. But no Josh Simmons at practice, or he's at practice, but no, not practicing, I should say. Jalen Moore is working at left tackle because of that. Khalil Benson, right tackle, which makes sense. If there was a regular season game and suddenly Josh Simmons was out, that's the same scenario that would play out. So a chance for the first time actually for Moore and Benson to both be getting first-team reps at tackle spots. That means Mike Caliendo is currently playing right guard as Trey Smith is still out with the hip injury. So that's where things are at here on a Tuesday camp-wise. You're caught up on the injury front, and there was no setback for any of the other guys that returned yesterday. Mansour Delane, for example. This is now 2 straight days of full padded practice.
Well, again, it's always concerning to me only because I think the single biggest weakness on the team is not just like the defensive line. I think it's depth. It is one of those years that they really can't afford injuries in very many places. And there are several places they just straight up can't afford it. If you tell me that they got to go 4 weeks, Gold, with Jalen Moore at left tackle and a rookie undrafted free agent at right, I'm terrified. That doesn't sound like a position I want the Chiefs to be in. They need Simmons available for 17 games this year. Can they get by with one against, I almost said the Raiders, but they got Max Crosby, so maybe not them. But could they get by with one? Maybe. But any stretch of time, missing somebody at guard or specifically tackle scares me. And so will I be waiting with bated breath on August 18th what the injury report is on Simmons? No. But if there's even so much as a snap he misses in the regular season, I will be scared.
I'm hoping it's just we work. It was
we overworked you yesterday.
48 hours after a preseason game. On Monday, we had our hardest practice of the year at camp, and we asked you to do even more. So we're just giving you the day off. That's what I'm hoping and kind of thinking it's going to be. But we'll find out from the Chiefs after practice.
Yeah. Again, I'm not going to panic before we see anything else. It very well could be what you're saying. It could just be. Because, he was running with the threes. But that was the point when I was saying with Nate Taylor. I'm like, anyone.
You did say it.
I was like, anybody but him. Like, just literally anybody. I don't care if it's a guard, an undrafted guy's not going to make the damn team. Don't make Josh Simmons, a player who had injury history a little bit in college and suffered an injury late last season, don't put him out there with the third team. I don't care who it is. Sorry, Garrett. I hope you don't get hit, but it's got to be somebody else who's protecting you at least for a little bit. Now, again, it could just be a rest thing, and if that's the case, I'll lay off at least a little bit because I don't want to make it seem that way. Meanwhile, as we talk about, hey, Simmons is a rookie player, Khalil Benson, or second-year player, Khalil Benson's a rookie, all these other things. Over at ESPN, this is now the second or third year in a row they've done this. Our friend Benjamin Solak, Aaron Schatz, these are all people who have appeared on the show. As a matter of fact, Louis Riddick and Seth Walder put together the future power rankings for the next 3 seasons in the NFL, 2027, 2028, and 2029. And where these positions or teams are positioned to succeed. I am trying to not look at this through a Chiefs-colored lens. But in what universe is this the position that they're in? I only agree with, I think, one of their rankings. So there are 4 categories for the future power rankings. They are overall roster, excluding quarterback, coaching, front office. Great news, Gold. They got quarterback right. They gave them a 97 score and put them number 1 in the ranking system for the next 3 years after this one for the future power rankings. Great, no complaint.
That's how I knew Dan Orlovsky wasn't involved in this article. When quarterback, they were listed number 1.
We can have an argument over coaching, which ranks them with a score of 85, which is 12th, because they're having to guess a little bit on how long Andy Reid wants to do the job. And will he want to do the job for this year, plus 3 more years after this one? If you made me take the over-under at 3.5 years, I'd probably take the under, but it would be a sweat. So fine, but like 12 still seems high because I know I'm getting Andy this year. I know I'm getting Andy next year. I think I'm pretty sure I'm getting him the following year, and that's what the questions are. So for most of your future power rankings, I think I'm getting Andy Reid, at least for a chunk of it gold. And so, like, I'd probably have that a little higher, but I'll listen to the argument because of the unknown at coach, okay? Overall roster, excluding quarterback, they have 18th, and they're very young. And front office, they have 13th. Brett Veach should look at this and be offended. In what universe is Brett Veach a secure person in his position who has won 3 Super Bowls and built multiple Super Bowl rosters, the 13th best GM in the future power rankings? That's the one I can't make sense of. Can you?
No,
Do people dislike Veach?
Yeah, so look, the overall roster, excluding quarterback, being 18th, I actually don't think is all that inaccurate. I think
I can't argue
overall
strongly.
roster and moving forward. But Brett Veach has shown he's capable of building championship caliber rosters. So to see him 13th on this is pretty funny. I'm not surprised if he wasn't in the top 3. If he was top 5, I think he's easily a top 5 GM in the sport. Now he's going to have to prove some of the naysayers wrong here that are out there. Can he find his next couple pillars of this franchise, right? Because some people will point and say, hey, Chris Jones wasn't your pick. He's a pillar. You got to find your next guy on the defensive line. Some people will say, hey, Travis Kelce wasn't your draft pick. You got to find your next pillar on the offense that's not Patrick Mahomes. We don't have to get into the who drafted Mahomes thing.
No,
obviously, John Dorsey was the GM, but we don't need to go down that road again.
Not today.
But the point being, Cody, he has to be able to find and evaluate his future pillars for the next championship run. Maybe that's somebody in this draft class. I don't know. Maybe that's Mansour Delane. Maybe it's Peter Woods. Maybe it's Cyrus Allen. I don't know. Right? Maybe he found a couple of pillars in this year's draft, but he has to find including this year, over the next 3 years, who are the next pillars. Because truly, right now, when you look at the youth of the roster, prior to this draft class, who do you think's the next grouping of pillars? Because we thought Trent McDuffie could have been that name. They obviously traded him away. So is Mansour Delane? Like, my guess right now of the youngest guys on the roster that aren't already the established pillars, my top candidate to become that probably would be somebody like Mansour Delane. He's a 6th overall draft pick. He's got a potential, we think, to be one of the better corners in football very, very quickly.
Yeah, and I think that's what's, and he probably needs to be. One of the notes in this article from Shots was the Chiefs led the NFL in playing man coverage last year. 58% of every pass play they played man coverage against. And so, like, Mansour Delane and Noah Williams are important players if that's their continued plan. Like, they need those guys to be good. Noah Williams had an awesome day at camp. He stopped Rice on a route. I saw him stop Cyrus Allen on a route. And Tyquan Thornton. He's literally just stopped the entire wide receiver unit on one-on-one drills, which is an easy place to lose, by the way. He's having a nice little day. But those guys are important. I guess the thing, and the reason why I don't argue the roster too much is that reason. Why is he the 13th ranked GM? Why are they the 13th ranked front office? Do they not trust them to scout because they haven't found the pillars, as you point out? Look, even if you're, like, I think Mac is down on Brett Veach a little bit. And even I don't think that Brett Veach is the best GM in football. I think he is among the probably 3 to 7th best if I were going to, like,
he's top 5 for me. He's top 5.
Fine,
Yeah.
But I don't think he's the best. You're probably right. I'd probably land at, like, 4th or 5th. If you make 13th?
Yeah, that's crazy.
In what universe is he 13th? They've got Baltimore's GM ahead of him.
But doesn't it go hand in hand? I mean, if
Houston's, Green Bay's.
If we're agreeing, though, that the future roster on this article from ESPN, if they're saying they're middle of the road roster-wise, well, some of that does fall on the GM. But 13th is still insane. 13th is still insane given what he's been able to do in terms of building a winner. It doesn't mean that he hasn't had misses. He absolutely has had misses. Right now, in the very, very early return of known as preseason, it looks like he may have a couple hits in this year's draft class.
Yeah.
Like, as in, he might have 3 or 4. This could end up being his best draft class since that 2021, I guess it would have been, right? Or 2022.
Something like that.
Draft class where
2022,
where he just nailed every single pick. They also need to have a draft like that. To revamp this roster. This is badly needed if, in fact, that's what they've done.
I will say 2 AFC West teams were ahead of them in the future power rankings. The Denver Broncos, they had it 4th overall. They had him as the 2nd best future roster. They are very young and talented. 17th best quarterback, 6th best coaching, which is 7 spots ahead of Kansas City's future, which I still, again, Andy Reid seemed like the kind of guy who's going to quit in the next 12 months, because I don't think so. and 9th, so ahead of Brett Veach in the front office. And then they have the Chargers, which is just, I think, a normal Chargers thing, 10th overall. They have their front office ranked ahead of them, their future coaching ranked ahead of them.
Wait. The Chargers front office is ranked ahead of the Chiefs?
Yeah, 8th.
Oh, okay. What? That's absolutely insane.
5 spots ahead of the Chiefs. Not just ahead of the Chiefs.
That's absolutely
5
insane.
spots
No,
ahead.
that's stupid. That's ridiculous.
Here's their reason for hope. With elite young passer in Justin Herbert and elite coach in Jim Harbaugh, the Chargers are set up well for the future. How will Harbaugh and GM Joe Horitz operate the lockstep is underappreciated. The lack of playoff success keeps Los Angeles lower on this list than it should be. Otherwise, that could be rectified. I will point out, if we're questioning how long Andy Reid would be the coach of the Chiefs, what the hell are we questioning how long Harbaugh's doing it? Or he's just going to do it forever? They're the same damn age. So, that part will never make any sense for me. Reason for concern, they say for the Chargers. Said I've been concerned about the quality and upside of the receivers room. I mean, duh. Though I still have many questions, my focus has shifted to the health and durability of the offensive line. If the starters can stay available, they would have one of the best pass block rates in there, says Louis Riddick. And then it says the Chargers have a young offense. Average age of projected top 12 players is 25.5, second youngest. But an old defense. Average age of the projected top 12 at 28.8, which is tied for the oldest. So they have the oldest starting defense in the NFL and one of the youngest offenses. But the young offense we don't particularly love. Other than the offensive linemen, I don't love their wide receivers. Their tight end room has some possibilities. I'll give them that. There's definitely some possibilities in their tight end room. And Amari Hampton is, I would just put him in the unknown category for now. He's a high draft pick. But, yeah, they have him 5 spots. Their front office 5 spots ahead.
So much of this is, even though this is supposed to be an article about the future and the next 5 or 10 years or whatever of the NFL and the Chiefs, I still think, and a texter pointed this out with the theme of the offseason, whether we're talking top 10 list, whether we're talking about the NFL top 100 that came out today,
Mahomes
is 18. So much of these lists are all literally just looking at what happened in 2025/2026.
Yeah,
even though these are supposed to be future looks. And I get it. It's a what have you done for me lately kind of world we live in, especially when it comes to the NFL. But at the same time, some of these articles about the entire organization, 1 year where you miss the playoffs and it goes terribly, to me does not erase how you feel about the organization moving forward. Now, they have to quickly bounce back. If we're sitting here a year or two from now and they're once again out of the playoffs, well, then I don't care what happened in 2023 anymore. But the faith in this front office does not change to me,
They built
based
enough
off
championship
of 1
process.
year.
Well, and I guess part of it is even if, let's say what Mac believes or what I believe to a little bit of point, which is Mahomes has helped hide some of the mistakes from the front office. Great. That's why you have an elite-level quarterback. He's able to do it. It hasn't stopped them from getting where they're going. They went to 8 consecutive AFC championship games. So it didn't stop them from getting to the inevitable goal.
I think some of the conversation around the Brett Veach thing is, I know that obviously he had the 22 draft class, but if you look at the class, Trent McDuffie, not there anymore. Sky Moore, not there anymore. Brian Cook, not there anymore. Leo Chanel, not there anymore. Joshua
Williams. But those are
Williams.
good players. I mean, those aren't all misses,
I know, but I understand that. But if they're good players and not misses, then why did you move on from them? I think that's why people are viewing what Brett Veach has done maybe a little bit differently, or maybe the way that the roster is constructed is there's a lot of unknowns. Jalen Watson is gone. Isaiah Pacheco, the roster. That whole class almost, except for George Karlaftis. I don't even know if Josh Williams is part of the team anymore. I don't think so.
He's not. He went
they are all gone. Other than George Karlaftis, not one of them is still on the team other than George. So
But they won 2 Super Bowls with that group.
I understand that, but why are they not? You're trading Trent McDuffie in his prime. Brian Cook, you're letting walk. Leo Chanel, you're letting walk. I think that's part of the way that the roster is constructed. I think that's part of why ESPN is viewing the roster the way that they are. Is there's a lot of unknowns, which we've talked about throughout all of camp, and then that's why they're, regardless of what they've done over the last 6 years or 7 years, I think that's part of the equation as well.
There's no doubt it's got some unknowns, and my feeling about the overall roster compared to the NFL. I think they have work to do. I guess I disagree on the success or lack thereof, I guess, on the 2022 draft class. I think it's about as successful of a class as you could possibly ask for, just because you don't have 5 of the guys from your draft class still on the roster. I mean, it's a little misleading to say McDuffie's not here, Jalen Watson's not here, with also acknowledging what they got in return for Trent McDuffie. They didn't want to make him the highest paid cornerback in the NFL. They don't make him the highest paid cornerback in the NFL, and they got multiple picks back, and they might have replaced him with what we think could end up being a top corner.
Yeah, but that's
George
why
Karlaftis is on a second contract. Sky Moore was a bust. There's no question about that. Brian Cook was a very nice player for them. They didn't want to spend a ton of money at safety anymore because of where they spent money elsewhere. We've all discussed we would rather not have spent the money at linebacker and right guard, but they chose to build their roster that way. I think criticizing the 2022 draft class is the wrong class to be critical.
I know. Hold on. I never criticized the draft class. I'm telling you, I think that's why, in explaining the future, 27, 8, and 9, why the roster is under question and why it's not considered to be one of the better rosters in this ESPN article is because the guys that you drafted from that class is not there anymore, and that's why
we're agreeing on that. We're agreeing on them being the 18th roster, Drew. We're disagreeing that Veach is the 13th best GM in football,
or it's the 13th best front office, I guess, in football.
But I think that the jury's still out on Brett Veach for some of the reason as to why I'm bringing up the 22 classes. They're all gone, so this class is really going to be the one that not necessarily make or break him, but because you got rid of McDuffie, because you replaced Brian Cook, because you moved on from these other players, this class is going to be the one that makes or breaks him. Where him being 13th, I disagree with it, but I can understand, well, he drafted these players and they won games, but is that more because they have Mahomes and Andy Reid? Or is it more because we've talked about this before, they haven't had the best roster in all but maybe one of the years that they went to or won the Super Bowl? I think that's part of the conversation as well. When you look at the roster standpoint, is it more Brett Veach or is it they got Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and they're elevating a roster that has never really been a top 5 roster?
We'll get back into this.
Some of that gets into the GM.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get back into this. Do want to update people. We did have something happen at practice in front of us a few minutes ago while we were talking about this. Tyquan Thornton left the practice field. Now is in the front of a cart. We don't know the reason. It could be like yesterday where it was dehydration for what's his name. It could be anything, guys. So I don't think any reason to panic yet, but we will let you know when we get an update. We've had some of these be dehydration. We've had some of these where the guy just had to go to the bathroom. I mean, it could be a million things. So the fact that he was in the front of the cart, not the back, is always a better sign. But Tyquan Thornton did leave up the hill a little while ago.
We'll keep an eye out on that, obviously, as what we were talking about to begin the show, because Josh Simmons is not practicing, is they can't really afford injuries in a lot of spots. Now, if Cyrus Allen's the goods, that would make the Tyquan stuff. But Tyquan still does something for this team that other people don't. So, we got to keep an eye on that as well. So we'll see. I will say one of the names that you would have liked, or some people would have liked, including Jay Binkley, I saw Keenan Allen signed with he's a Colt, right? So that he's off the potential veteran list if for some reason you needed it, Gold. So that's another guy to keep in mind. But, yeah, Tyquan did leave practice a little bit early. Josh Simmons obviously not practicing today. So we'll see which way that continues to go, at least on the other end, as we continue to monitor that. Again, right after practice is when they'll normally give some sort of injury update on both of those guys, so we'll just kind of have to see which way that goes. Don't forget, our training camp coverage is presented by Yuengling Flight. Football season starts here. Reach for Yuengling Flight, the next generation of light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Should we talk to our guy, Ross?
Yeah, coming up next here on 96.5 The Fan, Ross Tucker, our Odyssey NFL insider, will join us. We'll ask him about the Chiefs, about this AFC West, and what he's going to be doing now this fall, now that he's been promoted up to the CBS crew with Iron Eagle. And maybe we'll get something out of him about the wedding. We'll find out next.
We'll try.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in for the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day, starting at 11:30 right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
So let's be honest, you've heard Cody and I talk about Centric for years, and maybe you've thought about making that change, starting that new career, or finding something with more opportunity. So we'll just simply ask you, what are you waiting for?
You can get it in as little as 4 months. We won't even be through the rest of the season by the time that could take place. And the next class is another opportunity to change your future. Get into that career, a long-lasting career, and whatever field you want. Maybe it's cybersecurity. Maybe it's AI. Maybe you want to work in IT for a sports team so you can be close to those. You got lots of different choices over at Centric because they prepare you for an in-demand career in IT with hands-on training showing you how to do it. That's what's important, and that's what every single person who's graduated Centric has told us.
just make sure you call our friend Russ Mondry or go online to Centric.com. That's CENTRIQ.com. Your future won't wait, and neither should you.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
That wreck really took everything off track. Can't work, can't help with the kids. The bills are stacking up.
Then stop waiting. Call the Car Crash Kings, SWL Injury Law. Car crashes, that's what they do.
Yeah?
Yeah, they go to work so you can get your life back and get paid what you're owed.
Don't get pushed around. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You work hard, you pay your bills, but with credit cards, higher gas and grocery prices, you're making the payments, but not getting ahead. This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. Golden Oak can help you refinance, consolidate bills, and free up monthly cash flow. Call today for a free mortgage checkup. There's never a charge to talk with us.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Baseball fans, America's pastime is a game of decisions. Is it going to be a fastball or a sinker? Should you swing big or play for the bunt? And FanDuel is giving you that same strategy every Dinger Tuesday with a choose-your-own-reward customization, which allows you to transform the experience. Option 1, the bet reset. Use this on your wager, and you'll get refunded in bonus bets if your slip doesn't cash. Option 2, a 50% profit boost. Make your bet, activate the profit boost, and if it hits, you'll get extra winnings for the price of no extra cost. Whatever your style is, remember that you are in control. Make your choice, and the reward will be ready to use instantly on your next home run bet. FanDuel.com/local. Now choose your reward for every home run bet on Dinger Tuesday. Play ball with the home for home runs, and that's with FanDuel, an official partner of Major League Baseball, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Option required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration. Leg requirements and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLE.
A cancer diagnosis is overwhelming. Choosing the right treatment shouldn't be. If you've been diagnosed with breast, head and neck, or prostate cancer, before you decide, you have options. At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care. Proton therapy offers increased precision, protecting healthy tissue as compared to standard radiation. If you've been diagnosed, don't wait. Get your second opinion today and see KC's largest, most experienced proton therapy team. Visit kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
Pros, find the right flooring for the job in Lowe's newly redesigned flooring showroom. Shop our expanded assortment of trusted brands and get up to 35% off style selections, Stainmaster, and Stainmaster Pet Protect Special Order Carpet. And while you're here, save $100 on a DeWalt 20-volt max 6-amp-hour 2-pack of batteries. Now just $179. Get more of what you need faster and save more where it counts from the ground up. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 8/26 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
It's 5 o'clock. Your employees are headed home, but you're still updating spreadsheets, switching between software, and wondering where the day went. There's a better way. Odoo brings accounting, sales, inventory, CRM, and more together in one fully integrated platform. So you spend less time managing software and more time running your business, because your workday should end eventually. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. I scream. You scream. We all scream. Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming, happy screaming, summer screaming, dollar small classic Frosty screaming! But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time, only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
This report is brought to you by Go Car Wash. It's your time to go shine.
For limited time at Go Car Wash, mention radio and get any wash for just $5. Yep, any wash. That's up to 80% off our best wash. Visit Go Car Wash today. It's your time to go shine.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
All right, we're back up in St. Joe at Mo West. Training camp practice continuing in front of us. Probably a little shorter practice than yesterday, but they are still in pads today. So we're expecting in the 11 o'clock hour today to be able to head to the podium and hear from Eric Bieniemy. It'll be the first time, Cody, he speaks since he's returned to the team, of course, after the terrible events involving his wife and his family. So we'll hear from EB. We also will hear from Jake Brenton, Jeffrey Bassa, and Brashard Smith coming up in the 11 o'clock hour as our training camp coverage is presented by Break Time. Whether fueling up or grabbing a snack on the way to training camp, Break Time reminds you not all convenience stores are the same. Download their app and find a location near you. All right, let's go out to the Golden Oak Lending phone line and welcome in our Odyssey NFL insider, a friend of the show, Ross Tucker, who joined us every week last year. And it's good to talk to you, my friend. How are you? One, congrats, I guess, is in order. Moving up on the CBS broadcast crew, you're going to be paired up with Ian Ingle this year.
Obviously, great to talk with you guys always. Thank you so much for having me back on. And, yeah, very, very excited to work with Ian. I know you guys have heard us. We've done a bunch of games together on the radio, a lot of Thursday night games, a bunch of playoff games. So it's really cool as a broadcaster to get the opportunity to work with someone that you already have a really good rapport and chemistry with, and you think is, I think he's one of the best to ever do it, and love working with him, have a pretty good feel for how it sounds, what it feels like, and I'm excited for more people to get a chance to experience that.
Does he have any eccentric habits? Does he have anything that's like, oh, this is the one thing Ian does in order to get ready for a broadcast?
Oh, that's a good question. No.
Just a totally normal dude.
I can't think of any. I do think, no, I haven't been around. It's funny. Radio, you kind of get there for the game, and then after the game, you go back. TV is more like a 2 or 3 day process. So I'll be able to get to know him better in that regard, for however many games we do together this season. But I hear he's got some interesting eating habits, eating preferences. So I'm looking forward to learning more about that, although, I do too. So, and mine are more volume-based. I eat a lot. So that should be fun.
We've had dinner with you, so, we at least got the most of our wings when you were in town.
That's exactly right. I don't think I went overboard that night. It's always like, that balance of, I'm a recovering offensive lineman, so I'm trying not to overdo it, but when I get one night or one real meal in Kansas City or a place like that at a barbecue joint, that is hard.
We understand, though, I know you probably can't say much, but you were at a pretty popular wedding this summer there at Madison Square Garden. As much as you could, how was that? You were there, right, with your wife at the Swift wedding?
Yes. Yeah, we were there. It was incredible, truly magical in every way. Needless to say, once-in-a-lifetime experience that, easily one of the best nights of my life. And I feel like I have a pretty good feel for both families, and I'm just thrilled for them. Two awesome families, and really, really happy for Travis and Taylor. And, it was so cool to be a part of it in every way. It was absolutely It was like a movie. It was amazing.
I was going to say, who was the most famous person other than Taylor Swift? Who was the most famous person, could you say, that was there?
Well, I don't remember everyone that it's like public that they were there or not.
Okay.
So I'm very hesitant to give out any details about anything
I think I saw you mention, like, I saw on your Twitter or something that Tom Cruise was there. Is that right? That part I think was public, though.
Yes, it's definitely public that Tom Cruise is there. And honestly, it was a couple months ago now, so I don't remember everyone else that is public they were there or not. But yes, Tom Cruise, I know that's out there, and we had a funny interaction that I did share with the Dan Patrick guys, so you can check that out on social media if you want to. But yeah, it was just it was super, super cool. It was like any other wedding that you would go to in terms of like an incredible band and you're dancing. It's just, you look around and the people you're dancing next to or with, it's not your Uncle Joe anymore.
Ross, let's talk a little bit about the Chiefs. We're up here at Chiefs training camp. We only have 1 day left here. They only have, 2 days left, I guess, including today. They're done on Thursday. We think the national media is a little low on the Chiefs while not pretending like they deserve to be ranked as one of the best teams in the AFC. Where are you, I guess, just in the general sense of where you think the Chiefs should be amongst the AFC elite?
You know, it's a terrific question. And I could make a really compelling argument in multiple directions. So the argument in their favor is obviously just their incredible track record during the Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid era, and especially in recent years. Over the last 5-6 years, they've just been so consistently good, and I think they deserve the benefit of the doubt for what happened last year. And if I'm gonna, if I were a betting man, so to speak, I'm betting on Andy Reid, betting on Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, those guys. I think the other side, and Steve Spagnuolo, I want to make sure I mention him because I think he's a key part of it. I think the flip side would be this time of year, I kind of look at teams and I think, okay, how many question marks do they have? And the reality is, it feels like the Chiefs have a lot. I mean, if you look at them, the receiving core, I think you can question the depth. I think you can question what they're going to get from Rashee Rice. I think, the jury is still somewhat out on Xavier Worthy and Tyquan Thornton. It doesn't feel like any of those guys are really known commodities. I think you can probably say on some level the same for the offensive line other than Trey and Creed at right guard and center. Obviously those guys that are going to play have a lot of ability. They've got snaps under their belt now, but I'm still not 100% sure what they have with Kingsley or Josh Simmons or Jalen Moore. I do think that the running back position's been upgraded. Then you have how Patrick bounces back from the injury. Defensively, I think they'll be pretty good, but they've made a bunch of changes there on the back end, and they're counting on a lot of rookies. R. Mason Thomas, Peter Woods, Mansour Delaney. I mean, they need those guys to really play well this year. So they have a unique combination, I would say, of questions that need to be answered and rookies that need to perform well. And so I can easily see why people are putting several teams ahead of them because they have more question marks on paper than a lot of other teams in the AFC.
Who do you think is the best team, though? Because, that's always still the issue. It's like they might have more questions. That's fair. The Andy Reid, Spags, Patrick Mahomes part of it carries some weight, obviously, as you said. But it's like I can see some problems still with the Patriots or Broncos or Chargers, whoever it is that you're in there. It doesn't feel like – I guess I feel like there's no team that has a good roster or like a great roster that I don't have questions about whether or not their quarterback can do it again, I guess is my problem, Ross.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, you know, a lot of people are really high on the Ravens. I would say, you know, first-time head coach, first-time offensive play caller. You know, I'm not sure I'm as high on the Ravens as other people are, but I can see where that's coming from. I do think the Bengals are going to be good this year. I actually think, you know, for years it didn't feel like anybody in the AFC South was very good. This year I feel like the Texans, Colts, and Jaguars could all be good. We know what the Bills are and what they have been and whether or not their head coaching change can get them over the hump. You said it. I mean, the Patriots won the conference last year. And I do think the Broncos are a really good football team. I think the Broncos, you know, probably would have been in the Super Bowl if Bo Nix doesn't, you know, break his ankle. So I think your point is well taken that, you know, it's not like the other teams are clearly head and shoulders above the Chiefs. I would agree with you. Where I think it might be different is it feels like there's a pretty high volume of teams that it wouldn't surprise me if they got to at least the AFC Championship game. I mean, 2 in the AFC East, probably 2 in the AFC North, 2.5, I'll call it, in the AFC South, and then, you know, probably 3 in the AFC West. So it just feels like there's a pretty significant volume of teams where, you know, if the Chiefs don't get that number 1 seed, you know, first of all, it's going to be a battle just to make the playoffs. And secondly, even if they do make the playoffs, you know, those would be 3 very losable games to get to the Super Bowl. Whereas it kind of felt like for most of this run that they would have the bye. Their first opponent wasn't really, you know, a team that you envisioned the Texans or the Jaguars going into Kansas City and winning. So a lot of times it felt like they really just had to win the AFC Championship game on their home field. Whereas I don't think that's going to be the case this year.
We're talking to Ross Tucker, our Odyssey NFL insider here on 96.5 The Fan. I'm curious who the team is for you, but there's a team that, you know, last year did not make the postseason that maybe now is going to bounce into either a divisional win or into the postseason. That team for me I'm high on is the Minnesota Vikings. I need you to talk me out of the Vikings unless you are also high on them. I'm a believer in Kyler Murray going to Minnesota with that weaponry that he has and, of course, Kevin O'Connell.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of people that agree with you because, you know, they were very banged up on the offensive line. They had, you know, bottom 3, certainly bottom 5 quarterback play in the NFL. If you go 9-8 with bottom 5 quarterback play, that's super impressive. I mean, really impressive. Now, you know, defensively, they move on from Jonathan Grenard and their D tackles and Hargrave as well as Jonathan Allen. So is the D line up to task? Because they lost 3 of their known guys there, and I think it's the second most important position after quarterback. So that becomes, you know, something to that becomes something to keep an eye on. For sure. So I'll be looking at their D-line. Certainly, it's hard to imagine Kyler Murray playing worse than what they got at the position last year. The real question is how much better will he be? Because it's an interesting fit for him because, you know, that's a precision-based offense, kind of the McVay, Shanahan, Tree, and Sam Darnold did it effectively. Obviously, you know, Kirk Cousins did it effectively. I'm curious to see whether or not Kyler Murray can be that type of detailed, precise quarterback that hasn't really been his style so far in his career.
Speaking of Ross Tucker here on our Odyssey NFL Insider over on the Golden Oak Lending Hotline, I want to ask you about what Roger Goodell said about international football. He had said today he thinks it's inevitable that there will eventually be a team permanently based outside the U.S. Do you think it works? Do you think he's right in that? I guess how long do you think it'd take, Ross?
Well, I would love it because I adore the sport, and I would love. I am totally in favor of anything that spreads the football gospel around the world. I mean, what if I had been born in like Denmark?
You'd have been a big soccer fan. You'd have been a soccer guy, you know?
Yeah, guess what? Guess who's not good at soccer? The guys that are 6'5", 300 pounds.
Not many of them, no.
Okay? I played soccer from 5 years old until I was 11. I like soccer. It's a really good sport. But the first day of football practice, the first time I knocked somebody over, I was like, soccer schmocker. Like, wait, in this sport, you can just run over and knock somebody over? This is amazing. So anytime the NFL looks to grow internationally, I'm all in favor of it, especially for the kids. I mean, there's kids all over the world that think soccer is the best sport. I mean, it's so sad. Like, we need to make sure they know about American football and how amazing it is. Look, I think the only logistics is the only issue is the logistics, especially if you're talking like Europe. I think easily they could do a Canadian team like in Toronto. It just so happens they're so close to Buffalo that seems unlikely. Maybe it's a team in Mexico City. It's something like I don't know, but I think the logistics are really the hardest part.
Lastly for you, Ross, I'm assuming you would have been honored if somebody wanted to wear your number back in your college days, not trying to prevent it from happening. Is that right?
You know what? I don't know enough about that. I guess I've read where, I don't know what his arrangement was with LSU, but I don't know if he donated money or they used his likeness, but they had told him that they would never let anybody wear it again, and then they went back on it. So I think that there might be more to meets the eye. I know this. I used to pray that the team, if they signed somebody, that they wanted my number so I could sell it to the guy. Because I like my high school number, my college number, but in the NFL, I'd much rather have the money than keep whatever number I was wearing at the time. Let's negotiate. Although the problem is, if they sign somebody that wanted my number, that means they're probably at my position, which would not have been good.
That's a risk for you, it's a double-edged sword.
Ross Tucker, our Odyssey NFL insider. Great to talk to you again, man. Congrats on the bump up there at CBS, and hopefully we'll check in here in a couple weeks.
Sounds great. See you guys.
There you go. Joining us here on the Golden Oak Lending phone line. While we were talking to him, all of a sudden it started to rain pretty good. We got a nice downpour here at practice. They are still practicing, though. Fortunately, no lightning in the area. As long as that,
at least at the moment,
continues, then they will continue practicing, although I would say we're on the final probably 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes or so of practice anyway. After practice, as long as they don't have to go inside due to weather, we are expected to hear from Eric Bieniemy at the podium outside here. We're also expected to have Jake Brenton join us on site in our tent area here. As we mentioned, fans today, only about 500 ticketed. Just a very small crowd, and then the weather has also kicked out another 100 or so, I would say. So we're down to Cody. I mean, seriously, there might be 100 to 200 fans left.
Yeah, if this is it'd be a good day for an autograph, maybe, but it is certainly thinned out. But we had promised Gold, and we have to make a double elimination today so we can get to the finals tomorrow. Let's do a little Camp Darling Island.
9 players arrive in St. Joe for Camp Island. Only one can take home the final prize. Who will be the Chiefs' Camp Darling?
This feels fairly obvious today, Gold. I hate to say it, but of the players that we have left, I think there really are only 3 people worth entertaining on the island, and I guess I'll see if you guys think it's the same. I think today, with Cyrus Allen, Emmett Johnson, R. Mason Thomas, Jaden Canaday, and Khalil Benson, who was the bombshell who joined the island later. Look, Khalil Benson deserves his spot. He might be an undrafted free agent rookie who starts meaningful snaps for the team. Haven't heard from Canada for a while. And Emmett Johnson had the best preseason game of all of the guys I just listed. It is just Cyrus Allen, Emmett Johnson, and Benson left, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
Drew, do you have any objection?
I mean, today I think we have to eliminate R. Mason Thomas and Jaden Canada, and it sets up the final 3 for tomorrow. And barring something absurd happening, it's over. It's over. I mean, Cyrus Allen's going to end up winning tomorrow. I hate to spoil the party, but yes, if we're doing it correctly, we're keeping with the theme of Camp Darling Island. We're going to leave 3 left for tomorrow between Benson, Johnson, and Allen. And Cyrus Allen's about minus 10,000 right now to win Camp Darling Island 2026. That's going to be 2 years in a row with wide receivers. There's something about that. Wide receivers are wide receivers are a sexier position during training camp. It stands out. It's easy to judge. People can notice it. It's not the same as an offensive lineman, right? The only defensive player, it's got to be somebody that is usually intercepting the ball multiple times throughout training camp. It's tough during training camp. Other than a running back, quarterback, or wide receiver.
Again, I didn't do a perfect job drafting the next 2 guys, and I hate to just take wide receivers every year because there are years in which it wouldn't have been a wide receiver. I really do genuinely think Trey Smith would have won it the year he eventually started for the team at right guard. But
you had the first pick. You took the right guy.
I did. I could have easily. You guys were like, "Who's Cyrus Allen?" Didn't know if that'd be because I thought about R. Mason. I thought about some other guys.
JT was in for Drew that day. I thought JT was going to go R. Mason Thomas with the second pick. With the third pick, I thought I had to take R. Mason Thomas at that point in time. None of us saw Khalil Benson coming. That's for sure.
No.
And look, Bassa was briefly on the island as well. I think this has been narrowed down properly. Tomorrow we'll check in again. Allen, Johnson, Benson, but we know where this thing is going for Camp Darling Island.
No premature evictions from the island, We didn't send somebody out and then have to bring someone back this year. We have done that in years past, so we'll see. The Chiefs do continue, by the way, to practice in the rain here in St. Joe. As you had mentioned as a reminder, Joshua Simmons did not practice at all today, and Tyquan Thornton left practice earlier on the front part of the cart. That's the least concerning part, typically, when we're talking about it, so we'll hopefully get an injury update from both of those guys. But thanks again to Ross Tucker. We love having him on, and congrats to him for getting the bump up at CBS.
Yeah, he's worked his
I really like Iron Eagle, too.
Yeah, Iron Eagle's great, and Ross has been grinding for multiple years, trying to continue to build his media brand, and it's cool to see him go from calling, multiple weeks, but not every week of NFL games on CBS, and a lot, as he joked with us in the past, a lot of Tennessee Titans games and things like that. We all know he's been on Westwood 1 for years, but now to see him, he's going to have some pretty damn good games to call. Once you get bumped up to the Iron Eagle crew, you're going to be able, again, it was J.J. Watt is now with Jim Nantz, and that crew. Yeah, he's going to be on a lot more games, maybe more Kansas City Chiefs games. We'll see moving forward.
So they'll be on some of the second crews this year just because of how last season went.
We're hoping to have Ross on weekly again. That's not a confirmed thing, but we're hoping to have him on weekly again this football season. His schedule got a little busier, so we're not sure.
Just to
peel back the curtain a little bit on that one. We're not sure, but we're hoping to. I know Drew's working on that behind the scenes as well. So hopefully Ross will join us on a weekly basis during the season. We're only like 2 weeks away, I would say, from starting our regular lineup. We'll start having Klingon every week. We'll start having, hopefully, Ross Tucker. We'll start having Paul Charchian join us every week. Dane Hughes will start up with us. So we'll get into our normal setup of football season. Looking forward to that, man.
How many days are we until opening day? 14th? Is that or for the Chiefs?
What are we, 26 days, 28 days, something
27.
like that?
27 days
Split
until the Chiefs start. It's still a month? I don't want to wait a month. That's a long time.
That's what college football's for, Cody.
Yeah, I mean, look, it fills the gap.
Week zero.
But the problem is the week zero's matchups.
A week from Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not watching Long Island versus Alabama, 63.
That's not even.
That's fine because they aren't playing. That's
they are. I was going to say, yeah, Drew. I was about ready to say.
You don't have to, Cody.
I'm just making up teams. I know they're not playing each other.
KU plays Long Island the next week.
There is a game with serious playoff implications potentially, Cody, in week
I will
0.
Watch.
Saturday. A week from Saturday, while we're in Vegas, I'm going to be sitting at the Circus Sportsbook. They're going to have TCU in North Carolina, one of the first games of the day on.
That is not the one with playoff implications, Cody.
No, it is not. But that's the first. That's the first game, Drew. Though I believe that'll be on TV.
Yes, correct. That is in Dublin. Cody, the one you need to watch is Memphis and UNLV at 9:00.
Hey, UNLV. Where's that,
Drew? Okay, so
Drew, where's that game at? Is that game in Vegas? Hold on.
It is in Vegas. It is at Allegiant.
We could go to the game.
We could
go to the game.
Yeah,
True. At 9
you guys
p.m.
can
though,
go.
it means I got to stay till Sunday if I'm doing that. all of a sudden.
9 p.m. our time, so it's 7 Pacific.
So I'd either have to take a red eye. My flight, right? Cody and I's flight leave way earlier in the day at this point.
At the moment,
but
yeah.
I've considered you leave like at 8 a.m. Don't you? I don't leave till 5
I got a fantasy
p.m.
football draft, so at the moment I've got a very early flight
Cody, that
planned,
game,
although
I know that's not what you were thinking. I was saying when I said
Yeah,
CFP
Drew, I gotta say, when you said
but this
it has college.
this has college football playoff implications potentially down the line.
I
Whoever wins
respect
this
that,
game.
but I do think that respectfully, you oversold it when you said college football playoff implication. Then you told me is Memphis UNLV.
But I gave you a
You
fact
know.
though. Like whoever wins that game,
he is factually
whoever
correct.
wins
He
that
is-
game might be in the college football playoff.
You know what? I'm watching Sacramento State and Eastern Michigan or nothing. You know,
He is.
You need ESPN Plus for that. Hopefully you have it.
I did not realize UNLV was at home. I have considered before this anyway, moving my flight to Sunday morning. That
Let's
might
go.
be. Do I want?
that'd be a good one to go.
Go to
That'd be fun.
UNLV. I mean, I'm sure I can get tickets easily. So UNLV Memphis, that could be a fun one to go to.
Is that your favorite stadium?
Yeah, it's a nice stadium. I hate the Raiders, but Allegiant's
It
a
is
great
a nice
stadium.
stadium.
Okay, I'm
$33.
I'm gonna have to look into $33. Is that downstairs or just to get in?
I'm just looking at ESPN. It says
Oh,
it says tickets as low as
So
33.
So that's upstairs probably somewhere. Okay.
I'm guessing
All right.
so.
We'll have to see. I mean, that's one of those games I feel like, Drew, I wait till like an hour before kickoff and I can
Yeah,
buy a
just
ticket
show
cheap
up.
or something.
Yeah.
I think maybe you just ask around Vegas and just see who might accidentally.
I can
have
text some people.
Isn't like
Yeah,
we're
we
gonna have Derek Stevens on the show? I imagine we're there. Isn't he a big supporter of UNLV?
I don't know. I don't want to speak for him.
No, I think he was. There was a whole story about him in the NIL and the kid who.
Oh, he
was
might be. I
getting out
mean,
of
that
there,
doesn't mean
know?
he's getting
Maybe
me
he's got some
tickets.
tickets.
But either
Well,
way,
you got him with you. You could just ask.
either way, I might change the flight to Sunday morning to begin with, and then if I do that, then I might as well go to the game. So we'll figure that one out. We've got some fun stuff planned next Wednesday. Actually, it'll be Thursday on the air. We leave next Wednesday.
$46 in the lower bowl.
Beautiful, Drew. See,
I was
that's
going to
not
say, I'm
bad.
Corner of
looking
the end zone.
44, 53, 43. You could be 109. You could be sitting at the 40.
I bet you I can wait till right before kickoff, though.
I bet so. Yeah.
You know,
Probably.
It's not like UNLV's
Cheap
a hot
seat.
ticket. But anyway, all right, guys, up next, we'll get to the 11 o'clock hour. Practice should be wrapping up in the next 20 minutes or so. But let's talk about quarterbacks in the league, including who could lose their job first. That's next here on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in to hear Royals insider Josh Vernier every Wednesday at 12:30. Cody and Gold is brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Raining right now up here in St. Joe as we're up here at camp. And maybe you've been hearing that drip. Maybe you're like, I don't know if my roof's okay. Get it checked out from a locally owned and operated company who's done over 36,000 roofs in the Kansas City area. That's Century Roofing. You can check them out at centuryroofingkc.com. They've investigated and repaired my roof multiple times. They have told me it is not time yet for a new roof. They're honest, they're hardworking, they're timely, they get to you quick, and they can handle those needs while being experienced over 35 years in the Kansas City area. Voted best roofing company in Kansas City 2 years in a row, thanks to readers over at the Kansas City Star, and 4 years in a row for readers over in Johnson County. And so it's important that when you look at this stuff and you're trying to figure out where you want to go, to have the experience. I'm going to knock on your door, so I'll take care of it. Will they be around in case you have problems, in case you have questions, if you have needs down the road? Century Roofing will be. That's because they've been operating in Kansas City for over 36 years. If you have roofing needs, check them out at centuryroofingkc.com. That's centuryroofingkc.com.
$30 million in guaranteed prizes you can cash in this football season out in Las Vegas with 3 Circa Sports contests. Entries starting at $1,000, all with zero rake. Circa Million, 18 weeks of point spread action, 128 ways to win. Or Circa Survivor, you pick one winner each week, the last one standing wins. And Circa Grandissimo with a $100,000 entry. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere, $30 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
Whether you're commuting to work or heading out for a fast coffee break, getting an auto insurance quote is just a tap away. With AAA, you're always connected, so you can focus on the road ahead. Rest easy knowing AAA's got you covered, no matter where life takes you. AAA, we're always with you. To start your quote, visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber.
We're in the Midwest, where tornadoes are real and our water table is high. So we practically tap a well every time we dig a basement. As a plumber, I could tell you that water always wins. This month, we have a sump pump special. $200 off a main pump or $400 off a battery backup system. Protect your basement. If you haven't used us yet, we would love to win you over. Visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
Whether I'm setting up the ultimate tailgate or hosting a watch party, game day is all about the Chiefs and keeping it stress-free. That's why I go to Hy-Vee. They make planning a breeze with everything you need in one convenient stop. We're talking about tailgate trays packed with sliders, wings, charcuterie, sushi, appetizers, and those iconic Chiefs-themed cookies. Plus, a massive wine and spirits department to top off your beverage order. Let Hy-Vee handle the work. Just order online for pickup or delivery. It's a total game changer, only at Hy-Vee.
Back to school savings start now at Hy-Vee's 3-day sale. Stock up and save big this Friday through Sunday with hot deals in every department. Meat, produce, bread, cereal, and snacks. Want an easier way to shop? Order on the Hy-Vee app or at Hy-Vee.com. Choose pickup or delivery and we'll do the shopping for you. Save time, save money. Shop your way during the back to school sale this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
I've had a number of surgeries, and frankly, I don't have time to rehab a surgery and an operation at this point in my life. I didn't want to take time off my kids' activities.
That's why former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter turned to QC Kinetics. We couldn't be happier saving our patients like him from operating rooms and long recoveries.
I've been able to resume like normal activity for me, which is a lot of running. It's a lot of workouts. I've been very, very blessed with how it's been able to hold up.
For so long, patients have accepted surgery as the only solution. But with new technologies, the medical professionals at QC Kinetics use regenerative treatments, your body's own biologics, to help heal and restore knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
I actually ran into a friend of mine over at our golf course, and he had his knee done. It felt so well. He'd got his shoulder done. He goes, I can't thank you enough. He'd heard the commercial on the air, and so it's feeling great.
Find out how you can avoid surgery and finally get relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
Telly Tire and Auto Center's biggest sale of the year is back. The tires at cost sale. That's right, you pay what we pay, plus mounting and balancing for only $30 per tire. Reserve yours at TELLEtire.com. Take care of your car, take it to Telly. Additional charges apply for tire disposal and road hazard warranty.
Hi, I'm Tom Shane, third-generation owner at Shane Company. As a family jeweler for almost 100 years, we're known for doing right by our customers. Our legacy of integrity depends on it. We stand behind our engagement rings with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We handpick the most beautiful diamonds, then negotiate for the best price. At Shane Company, we put you first because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
The Advent Health Championship is Casey's only PGA Tour event. Whether you're a golfer or you just want to be part of the fun, family-friendly event, see the future stars of the PGA Tour at Blue Hills Country Club, August 20th through 23rd. Ticket information at adventhealthchampionship.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out,
leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Tune in to Cody and Gold starting at 10 as they broadcast live from Chiefs training camp with exclusive one-on-one interviews and real-time updates from practice. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
11 o'clock hour here in St. Joe. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp with you from Mo West. Practice just about wrapped up. They're doing their final stretches. That means in about 5 minutes or so, we'll probably be able to head to the podium and hear from Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. It'll be the first time he speaks since returning about a week ago to practice, and so definitely want to hear from him, obviously on the football side, but I'm sure maybe he'll give a statement at the beginning, or he'll be asked a little bit just kind of what the last couple of weeks have been like for him. So I'll be curious to get his thoughts on everything going on from Chiefs camp. We'll also be joined by Chiefs tight end Jake Brenton, who is fighting for a job on this team, a roster spot on this team. So Jake Brenton will join us after practice, and then we may at the podium hear also from Brashard Smith and Jeffrey Bossa.
Yep.
Two guys.
Interesting players this year.
Yeah, I think interesting is the right word for sure. Definitely Brashard Smith. Like, what's his role going to be? He clearly looks like an improved football player, but what's the role going to be in 2026? And then Nate Taylor, as always, will stop by from ESPN. He'll join us after practice and after the media podium stuff wraps up, and we'll get his perspective. Hopefully we get an update as soon as we go to the podium as well. I don't think Eric Bieniemy will give it, but we'll keep an eye on it from Nate, which will be what was the reason for Josh Simmons not practicing today? Was it just a lot of work yesterday? I hope that's what it was. And then also Tyquan Thornton left practice on the front of a cart. So what was that? We'll let you guys know as soon as we know. Someone actually just came up in the tent next to us, was asking if we knew yet. We don't have an answer yet. Hopefully we'll have one pretty soon. But don't forget, our training camp coverage is presented by Break Time. Whether fueling up or grabbing a snack on the way to training camp, Break Time reminds you not all convenience stores are the same. Download their app and find a location near you. Before we get to the podium and practice here in Kansas City with the Chiefs, around the NFL, this applies far more than it would ever in Kansas City, but I thought it was interesting. We both got an email blast yesterday, some offshore odds, Cody, on first quarterback to be benched. Now, I think there's a few obvious names. We know where the camp battles are. We know Cleveland is having a Watson-Shedeur-Sanders competition. It feels like the momentum right now is that Deshaun will start week 1, but does anybody think he's finishing the season as a starter?
No.
So I was surprised to see that he does not have the best odds to be the first quarterback benched.
Kirk Cousins?
No, the quarterback with the best odds is Tua, who's in a little bit of competition with Michael Penix, but Penix is not healthy. I think Tua could get benched at some point, but he's 2-1. I disagree with that. Geno Smith up with the Jets, plus 250.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins, as you said, 3-1. Brissett in Arizona, 4-1. Deshaun Watson, 6-1. Kyler Murray, 8-1. I think Deshaun Watson should be the favorite. I think there's actually value at 6-1 that Deshaun gets benched first of all the quarterbacks. It's him or Kirk Cousins.
I think that, like, when you start with Deshaun, I don't know how I could do it. Like, Kirk Cousins is an obvious answer because the number 1 overall pick, Gold, is behind him. So if you're making me guess, normally I go in that range. If you're the number 1 overall pick is behind you, the odds of you getting benched pretty quick, relatively strong if you stink. But Sanders has looked awful. And Deshaun Watson has looked awful.
He got stripped of the football
so,
and
like,
down.
Deshaun Watson looks like he has the arm power rated 40 in Madden. It doesn't look like he did a 10-yard hitch at this point. He looks bad. And so, like, if you're just going to make me guess right now, I do that. The only thing that causes me pause about Tua is that is a team, and this is why he's probably way up there, is that is a team that has enough talent and has signed enough talent that they actually think they should be able to win a football game. Like, they think that they should be able to, with Stefanski, win some football games. And so if Tua gets off to a weirdo start and they think that Penix might be able to supply something Tua hasn't, I could see that one being relatively quick.
I just think
in the trigger department.
My only reason why I don't agree with him being the best odds here
maybe
is
not the best odds, but I think he'd be up there. For
I think Tua, of the quarterbacks we mentioned, Watson, Brissett, Cousins, Smith, Tua's the best. of the bunch, meaning
he's the most likely to have success.
Yeah, and especially
other than Kyler.
Especially for sure. And Kyler, you know my feeling there, so I think it's crazy that he's 8-1. Were they benching him, bringing back J.J. McCarthy? Give me a break. So it's Kyler Murray's team all year. But when it comes to Stefanski down in Atlanta, I think we've seen what he's done with some of the quarterback crap that he had in Cleveland and found a way to get it done. So I think he won more games than we would have expected, believe it or not. So I believe with Tua, the Falcons, to me, they're my pick to win the NFC South. Especially now with the Saints not having Jordan Tyson ready early in the year, their talented rookie who never can stay healthy.
I like the Saints roster, the Falcons roster about as good as any of the teams in that division.
Other names on the list, I just don't think it's going to happen. Malik Willis, Miami's going to roll with him all year. Bryce Young's 12-1, Jackson Dart 14-1. Who are these teams starting instead of them? I just don't think those are in play at all. My bet would be Deshaun Watson 6-1. Cody, he's benched by week 5 or 6.
Yeah, that probably feels right.
I think Mendoza doesn't start any earlier than the Chiefs-Raiders game. The Raiders host the Chiefs in October. We might be there, and that could be Mendoza's first game.
Well, we talked about this. This happened with Russell Wilson. How quickly did Jackson Dart get in? Week 5? Week 5-ish? I mean, it's the number 1 overall pick. Like, I just think that if there's anyone that could happen in a very quick turnaround, you get benched. I mean, it just feels like him, doesn't it? Like, I honestly think that would still maybe be my pick. 2 would be on the list, but I'm with you that number 1 on the list would still be Watson. It's hard to imagine it's not that, I guess.
Yeah, so we can revisit that. It's always interesting just to see where some of these quarterback competitions are set up, as we're about to be joined by Jake Brenton here in just a second. Of course, we are broadcasting live from St. Joe, a rainy practice today. Just wrapped up a few minutes ago, and our player interviews from St. Joe are presented by the St. Joseph Convention and Visitors Bureau. Plan your trip now at stjomo.com. That's stjomo.com. Jake, great to have you on the show, man. We appreciate you stopping by. I don't think we've had a chance to talk to you before, so I'll just start. I mean, this feels for us at least like you're in a real competition here on this team to make this roster.
Yes, sir. No, thank you guys for having me on. It's great to be here. It's been a great time during training camp. We've been getting after it, both as a team and as a tight end group. So it's been a lot of fun.
How do you feel like your training camp's going so far personally? Like, are you happy with growth from year to year? How do you feel like it's gone versus last season even?
Yeah, I mean, last year I really didn't get, much opportunity to be able to, showcase what I could do when the pads came on. Unfortunately, I got hurt early on in camp last year. So just being able to come out this year, be able to show the type of player that I am, the physicality that I can bring to the field. But also, I think it's just been great. Being around the guys, being around the tight ends, being able to learn as much as I can. Out here at St. Joe, it's really only us out here, so it's been great to be able to, build team chemistry, hang out with the guys, eat at the cafe, and everything like that. So I think it's been a really good training camp.
We know Andy doesn't like a joint practice. Would you like one? Would you like going up against another team just to change it up a little?
Whatever Coach Reed wants, that I'm good. I'm good with. So, whatever his plan is, it obviously works. So, I'm here to just, give my best effort and do whatever I'm asked of.
You mentioned the cafeteria. I'm curious though, who's I guess in the tight end room though, who's the biggest eater right now?
I think everybody. Just trying to keep the weight on. We're out here for 3-hour practices, so just being able to go in there and eat good food that they make for us. It's been good.
How does this camp life compare to when you were at Clemson? I mean, I don't know if you were living in a dorm after your freshman year, but does this remind you of college a little bit at all, or no? I mean, Clemson's a big time school. So.
Yeah, no, it doesn't really remind me much of Clemson, but it is the college life, the college feel. Just being tight with the guys, being around each other all day long. So it's been really good just to be able to, like I said, build that team chemistry, and just keep working hard together and just going through the fire together.
I think first time in the Dabo era, they're not ranked in the top 25.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So what are you? I guess you saw that already.
Yeah. No, they're gonna have a great year. Obviously last year they had some struggles, but Coach Sweeney does a great job with his program, so he's gonna turn it around, and I'm excited to watch some boys go play.
What is it like to be coached by Dabo? Look, I'll be honest. If I were being honest with the audience, I've been critical saying I think Dabo's lost it a little bit.
Oh, no.
What is it like being coached by Dabo?
Yeah, Coach Sweeney's one of the greatest coaches of all time. So I think just being able to, for my journey, be coached by him in college and now be able to be coached by Coach Reed and now in the NFL, I think it's just I've been blessed. I've been around, guys that win, guys that know what it takes to win, and the coaches that have instilled that in me. And I've just been able to, use that in my daily life, whether it's, winning a rep on the football field or it's, winning off the field. So I think it's just been, the characteristics that they've instilled in me, I'm very thankful for, and it's been great.
Other than football, what do you, for our audience trying to get to know you a little bit, what are you into off the field? Is there a hobby or two?
My favorite, I would say my favorite hobby, I like to play video games. I've been playing a lot of PGA recently, so that's probably my favorite video game right now. But yeah, other than that, just playing ball, hanging out with the guys, and then I'll be on the game here and there.
What game do you think you're the best at? Like if there was a video game contest upstairs, what can you win? Other than PGA?
I think I'm pretty nice at UFC.
Okay.
Yeah, I like playing the UFC games, so, I know a little bit of the combos and stuff on there, so I have a good time playing that.
You mentioned Clemson a little bit. Doing some research, I think every single member of your family went to Michigan State?
They did.
Is there a reason why you bucked the trend?
That was something that I, thought a lot about during my recruiting process. My parents just allowed me to be able to, make a decision for myself. And they were going through some coaching changes when I was getting recruited, so I just felt like, everything Coach Sweeney was preaching, everything, that stood out to me about Clemson just, really set them apart in my eyes. So I think, I just had to make the best decision for myself. But, it's definitely go green for me.
When you go back home, is everybody still in just Spartan gear?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was growing up a Michigan State fan. Everybody in my entire family went there. My sister goes there now. So, we're always watching Michigan State games, always got the scores in the background and stuff like that. So, I'm always still in tune to them. But, I'm still a Clemson alum.
I was going to say, when it comes to basketball, though, do you kind of...
Oh, Michigan State basketball for sure.
You're an Israel guy.
Yeah, for sure.
We got Jake Brenton joining us here on 96.5 The Fan. All right, Drew, back at our producer in the studio. If you have it ready, Drew, let us know. We have so my co-host, Cody, did a QB cadence. We gave him a hard time. He did a QB cadence.
I'm getting some tips so I can improve it.
And he did this a while back. Mansour Delane already critiqued it. Nick Bolton critiqued it yesterday. We're going to play this. Give a critique, be honest, of his QB cadence.
What's the snap count?
I
we going on 5?
Yeah, sure.
All right, yeah. No, I think it's pretty good. I think you could do a little more volume with it to try and draw the guys off sides, but I think it sounded good.
Someone said I got to slow it down. Is it too fast?
Yeah, a little fast. Okay. Give them an opportunity to jump off sides and then go into the next one.
I will say it's noticeable. Now, you've had a chance to work with all the quarterbacks out here, but from even where we're sitting, which is a decent ways from the field, Patrick, you can hear from a mile away. 100%. I feel like he's the loudest guy on the field. Is that accurate? I mean,
yeah, 100%. He's a dude that his confidence wears off on everybody else when he takes the field. So just being able to take the field with him has been awesome. But also just playing next to a guy of that skill set and that caliber has been great. Obviously, with his cadence, he uses every single aspect of his game. He focuses on and uses it to his advantage. So even if that's his cadence, he really makes a difference with that and, uses it to our offense's advantage.
It's, like a lot of this comes from the stuff, but I know that they have a different set of rules for Travis. In learning from Travis, there are things that Travis can teach you can do, right?
100%.
And things Travis is allowed to do that you guys aren't? Is that fair to put it?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Kels has been playing this game at a high level for a very long time. So he's definitely earned that. But I think for me, just being able to come in and, see what he does and then, see also what the playbook says and, try and find a happy medium in between that, but also just going out there and playing ball. That's what he tells me all the time. Just, play ball, just have a feel for the game and just make the decisions and just play fast. And you really can't go wrong if you're playing fast.
From your point of view, playing tight end, so much talk about camp has been about some of the wide receivers you guys got there as well. What do you see in somebody like Cyrus Allen so far? He made this crazy one-handed catch yesterday, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, our entire pass catching repertoire is very talented. But even, you mentioned Cyrus. I think he's had a great training camp, just being able to see him come in here, hone in on the playbook, be able to know what he's doing, be able to go out there and play fast and, make very impressive plays. So, it's been great to watch him. I'm really excited for him, and it's been awesome.
Before we open up some sports cards here, how big of a day is Saturday for you? I know you don't want to build it up too much, but it's obviously a really important game in preseason for you on this roster.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just another day to be able to go out there and go to work. Our whole team has been, working hard together this training camp. And I think it's just another opportunity for us to go out there and showcase the work that we've been putting in.
All right, before we let you go, so we got Jake Brenton joining us. Our friends over at the Art of Sports gave us some football cards.
Okay, nice.
Try to see. Have you ever opened some packs before?
I've opened a couple packs
Okay,
before.
all right, so we'll let you do that. Our
Okay.
best card so far at camp, who was it that pulled it? Nick Armijo pulled a Jaden Daniels auto out of 25. So that's our
nice.
strongest
Those are pretty
card.
good.
We have barely got any Chiefs players so far, honestly. So let's see if we can get a little color or
At the very
number.
least, we can get a Chiefs player.
All right.
So a little bit of color.
Hawkinson, another tight end. Okay.
Okay.
Not bad.
You like
All
his
right.
game?
So we
Yeah,
got
he's a solid player. I saw him at tight end.
Hawkinson.
He can golf pretty well, too.
Really?
Yeah, he's a good golfer.
Pat Surtain, Jerome Ford, Garrett Wilson. All right.
You golf at all, you said? Then?
I golf a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm better at the video game golf. in real life.
Any color in there? All base cards?
Yeah, pretty weak pack, I would say.
That's
yeah.
all right.
Tough start.
Hey, best for last, right?
Marion
Tough start.
Hampton, let's see, Braylon Allen, Chris Godwin. All right, let's see. I'm a little worried.
Give him to
I'm
the
a little
kids, you
worried
know?
that once we got that Jaden Daniels auto, we're getting
That we
skunked.
peeked out?
Yeah, I think so. Oh yeah. That was the worst pack of the bunch, actually.
That's all right.
Base.
We
Jake,
appreciate you trying anyway.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Thanks for stopping by. If you don't mind signing the helm, we got your teammates signing this.
Yeah,
It
of course.
benefits the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. It'll be in our auction coming up in the summertime. So good to catch up there and get to know Jake Brenton a little bit ahead of Saturday's preseason game. All of our player interviews are presented by the St. Joseph Convention and Visitors Bureau. Plan your trip now at stjomo.com. As Jake Brenton is kind enough to sign our helmet. How long you work on that SIG?
I've been working on it since I was about 10 years old. I used to always
Pretty
just.
still's a long one.
Yeah. I've been always dreaming of having this opportunity, even since when I was a kid. So, now I get to use my hard work that I've been practicing on. So it's been good.
Hey, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah,
There
I
you go.
appreciate you guys having me.
Jake Brenton with us here on 96.5 The Fan. Let's get an early break in. We come back. We're expected to hear from Eric Bieniemy. Also, Nate Taylor from ESPN is going to stop by.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Man, that was the insurance company again.
What'd they say?
They want another statement, more paperwork. They're telling me what my car's worth. Now they want all my medical records.
Dude, why are you dealing with all that?
Call the Car Crash Kings.
One call and they deal with the insurance company for you. The calls, the paperwork, the negotiations. You just focus on getting better.
Hurt in a car wreck? Don't do it yourself. Call the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely from advertisements.
Red Eddie on hot. Football season is just around the corner, and just like your favorite team, you've got to fuel up to perform. At Break Time, we've got your training camp essentials, ice-cold drinks, protein-packed snacks, and all your game day favorites. Whether you're hitting the field or cheering from the sidelines, teamwork starts with the right fuel. Let's go! One team, one goal! Swing by Break Time, your home team for snacks, drinks, and everything in between. Download our mobile app and find a location near you. We're proud to be Missouri made.
Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
The appetite for destruction returns. Guns N' Roses. World Tour 2026. One night. Morton Amphitheater. This Wednesday night. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com.
Big hits get even bigger with Dinger Tuesdays on FanDuel. Customers choose their own reward every Tuesday to use on MLB bets. So how will you play your game? Option 1, the bet reset. You can use this on your wager and you'll get refunded in bonus bets if your bet loses. Option 2, a 50% profit boost. Make your bet, activate the profit boost, and if it hits, that's extra winnings at no extra cost. Make your choice, and the reward will be ready to use on your next MLB bet. Maybe you want to take a look at the first inning over-under tab on the FanDuel app, or alternate strikeouts, or some of my favorites, yes, no runs in the first inning. You name it, you can do it over at FanDuel. Just visit FanDuel.com/local to choose your reward for MLB bets every Dinger Tuesday. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and over in President, Missouri. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Did you know Skechers makes high-performance footwear for almost every sport you play? Here's what our athletes are saying.
Hi, I'm pro basketball player OG Anunoby. I dominate in Skechers basketball. Skechers delivers championship-level performance.
I'm WNBA star Jackie Young. Skechers keeps me quick, comfortable, and ready for anything.
And you can get high-performance Skechers and hands-free slip-ins technology. Just step in and perform.
I'm pro golfer Matt Fitzpatrick. I play in hands-free Skechers golf slip-ins.
Find yours at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or whatever high-performance sports shoes are sold.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This report is brought to you by CM Mose & Son, HVAC, plumbing, and electrical services. CMMoseandSon.com.
Dispatch, this is Mindy at CM Mose & Son.
Putting off fixing electrical problems in your home can be a real hazard. Visit CMMoseandSon.com to take care of your electrical problems today. CM Mose & Son, license 202058.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Josh Simmons from the Kansas City Chiefs, and welcome into the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day at 11:30 on Cody and Gold on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Our training camp coverage presented by Yingling Flight. Football season starts here. Reach for Yingling Flight, the next generation of light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Cody and Gold back here in St. Joe. A rainy day at Mo West. Appreciate Jake Brenton stopping by. Nice guy to talk to after practice, and he is battling for a spot on this roster and probably could use a big day on Saturday against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. While we were talking to Jake, we did get an update on the injury front for the Chiefs today. Earlier, to start the show, we mentioned how there was a lot of positive news injury-wise. The fact that guys like Drew Tranquill and Shamari Connor were back at practice, although we leave practice today with some new injuries and some that we're going to have to keep an eye on. The Chiefs saying Josh Simmons did not practice today as he's dealing with a back injury. Hopefully it's very minor, but that is definitely one of those we're going to have to keep an eye on. Because of that, we saw Jalen Moore play left tackle with the ones today. Khalil Benson shifted over to right tackle. We also know Tyquan Thornton, who left practice early in the front of a cart. The Chiefs saying he is dealing with a strained hamstring. We don't know the severity of that either, but that's the injury. And then Jimmy Holiday is just someone that's frankly not going to probably make the team, has a quad injury. But Josh Simmons, back injury, never like hearing that. And then Tyquan Thornton, also the strained hamstring. So if you thought there was a chance he was playing Saturday, you feel like that's probably out the window now. And we'll see what that does for the wide receivers the rest of the week.
And I saw Gelati had left with a foot injury, which is a bit concerning because he just got back to practice.
With a hamstring prior, yeah.
So we'll see which way that goes. He played in all 17 games last year, so it's not like he was an injury-prone player, but he has certainly struggled this camp to stay healthy, and you would think that he'd be in some sort of rotation with R. Mason Thomas and others on the defensive line, so certainly making the argument for at least those guys to hopefully get back to practice here soon, so we'll see which way or direction that goes, obviously, moving forward. But, yeah, those are at least the injuries.
Hopefully the back injury is just, hey, look, he's an offensive lineman. He's our starting left tackle.
And we made him work hard.
Made him work hard. The back doesn't feel right at all. Okay, you're out. Hopefully it's just that, and it's not the the back spasms that linger for weeks and weeks and weeks. Remember, Drew Tranquil had back spasms for 2 weeks. They held him out, and then he came back to practice today. So tomorrow will be maybe some indication on the severity of that. While we were talking to Jake Brenton's tool, Eric Bieniemy spoke to the media for the first time since he returned to practice, of course, after the terrible events around his wife and his family. Let's hear what he had to say, not only about that, but obviously what he's seen on the football side of things.
Good morning, good afternoon. Hope all is well. First and foremost, I want to say this. Thank you guys for all the love, the support. Obviously, the unfortunate circumstances which took place is very hurtful in a way. But on top of that, I just respect that you guys are respecting our privacy, and hats off to you. I also would like to say thank you to the Hunt family, the entire Chief family, for the outpouring, the love, and the support that my family has received through this particular situation. But with all that said, we back to football, all right? And I'm all ears. Who got me?
Eric, what did it mean to get back here? And do you feel a little bit like Travis does, that this is a sanctuary for you?
You know what? Yes, it feels good to be back. First and foremost, obviously, it's an opportunity to get back in with the guys, to watch them work. That way now we can all grow and get to learning each other. Obviously, we got a lot of new faces, and we want to continue the developmental process. But it feels good to be back because obviously when you've been in this environment, it becomes your family. This is your family away from your family. So it feels good to be in this environment.
Could you describe a little bit of how you stayed connected? There was some considerable thought about how you were always watching.
Well, and here's the thing. I wasn't always watching, but when things kind of settled back home, I had an opportunity to tap in and tell you, technology is pretty impressive now. You can watch practice live, through a stream, and I had an opportunity to go through the script, and my language probably got a little colorful in the house, and I had a bunch of family members that was there that never really heard some of the language that was used, but I had a great time, and it felt good just to see the guys work, but on top of that, just to feel like I was still a part of it.
Found yourself actually yelling at the screen sometimes?
Yelling at the screen, yelling at players, yelling at coaches. What the hell are we doing? I was doing everything. I'm yelling at myself. Why would you put that play in? But at the end of the day, it was just keep making sure I can keep up with what was going on. And on top of that, I didn't want to get away too far, but I just wanted to make sure that I can remain focused and locked in when I could have an opportunity to do so.
Clarity purposes, I know Andy's giving updates on the from what you can tell, was she's going to be able to have a full recovery?
Say that one more time.
Based on what Andy has told us earlier, does it look like Mia's going to have a chance to have a full recovery?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mia.
Oh, Mia, okay. Yeah. I couldn't hear you, I'm sorry. Yes, so she's on a great road to recovery, and like I said, I'm going to keep that private. And first and foremost, let me go backwards to go forward. Yes, she is on the road to recovery. Yes, she is doing great. It's one of the main reasons why I'm back here, because of her recovery. She's truly a soldier. She's a saint. And it's been incredible to watch. But with that said, I know I was driving her and a bunch of my family members crazy in the house. So she was like, you have my blessing to leave. So it was time to get back.
I wonder if you could speak to what football provides for players and coaches sometimes in like a necessary escape.
This environment, I've been playing football, been a part of this sport since the age of 6. So this has been a part of who I am. I've had an opportunity to make a number of great friends over the years, and those friendships, they last. The bonds that you form are very strong, and you end up developing these instant relationships that just, with things that you have in common. And so this is a beautiful sport. I know obviously you have your highs and lows with what takes place on the field, but when it's all said and done with, it's all about people, being united, all right, for one common goal. and that's bringing people together for the same common reasons, because we all want to win. But on top of that, we understand the importance of being accountable to one another.
Eric, you've been with Kenneth a little bit, in the mini camp and all that stuff, but what are your impressions of him now, having had him here at camp?
You know what, Kenneth's been very impressive. He's been working his tail off. The thing that I love about him is his competitive spirit. He gets up, he competes every single day. The thing that I also love, he does not like to be wrong, which is not a bad thing, because he wants to be argumentative, but on top of that, he wants to make sure that he's doing the right things. So when you have that type of person in that player, and the example that he shows out on the field, you know that he's going to give us the best opportunity to have success on Sundays.
What's been most, pleasant or intriguing for you to now be working with Patrick again, going all the way from the OTA periods to where you guys now are in training camp?
I tell you this, it's, you know what, and I don't even think it's necessarily the stuff that he does on the field. We've seen that. Obviously, he's a tremendous competitor. He works his tail off. Everybody understands the talent that he has. When I came back and I watched him work, in rehab, that was what stood out, Just his commitment to wanting to get back, his commitment to wanting to being out there with his teammates, all the hard work that he put in with Julie and Rick and all them in the training room. That was very impressive to watch. And if anything, if anybody was soft, it was probably me, But watching him go through it, gives me a whole different perspective of not only the player, but the man that he is, all right? And just the type of person that he is and that he's going to turn out to be, all right, on the football field.
Let's go 3 more. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Coach, what did you learn about your young backfield guys behind Kenneth on Saturday, especially him?
You know what? I think our young guys, they did a fairly good job. Obviously, there's a lot of competition in the room. Guys still got to make sure that they're doing all the fundamental things the right way. It's still a growing process. Was it perfect? No, it wasn't perfect. But there was some good, and we'll continue coaching it up. But on top of that, we got to make sure that we continue understanding the fundamentals, okay? Continue building upon that and detailing all the little things that we're expecting them to do, all right? The thing that I appreciate also, too, is that Coach DeMarco's doing a heck of a job with them of teaching them, getting them ready, but on top of that, putting them in the right positions to go out there and excel and show their talents.
Eric, I wonder if you could describe a little how guys like Patrick and Travis uplifted you and other players themselves during this time, and if you could share a little bit about what it took for you to decide to be able to come back.
It means a lot. I've known those guys, it seems like forever now. And you develop these relationships and these bonds. And like I said, we become a member of each other's family. And it means a lot not only to have great players, but more importantly, great people that happen to be great players that care about you, not just as a coach, but care about, who you are as a person, as a family man. And so it means a lot.
Where are you guys at? You mentioned joking about yelling at the screen. Where do you feel like you're at as an offense in terms of like a polished operation as far as your satisfaction?
Well, right now it's the beauty of camp right now. Obviously, we're in the dog days of camp. Last week's performance wasn't ideally our best. We still got to make sure that we're cleaning up all the pre-snap procedural stuff. We got to be able to get out the huddle and give ourselves a chance to line up and play. And on top of that, we got to eliminate the holding calls. So if we can eliminate that stuff, we'll give ourselves a chance. Right now, we're still in camp mode, working on the developmental process, making sure that our guys understands the what's, the whys, and the hows, okay? And that's our job as coaches. We got to make sure that they understand all the little things that we're inputting into them to get them to go out and perform on game day. So right now, we're not where we need to be. There was some good, but these practices that we've had the past few days, the guys have stepped up. They've accepted the challenge, and they understand, okay, what needs to be accomplished. So we're just going to continue to grow from here on out.
So that was Eric Bieniemy after practice today, speaking for the first time since he returned last week up here in St. Joe. Obviously, he started with the statement there, thanking fans, media, et cetera, for how they have handled the obviously terrible circumstances, and also gave, once again, a good update on his wife, who continues to progress in a positive direction. And gentleman that was asking some of the questions right at the beginning joins us right now, Nate Taylor from ESPN. Our conversations with Nate Taylor here on 96.5 The Fan are brought to you by Ready Services, keeping Kansas City comfortable for over 65 years with honest plumbing, drain cleaning, and HVAC service. Visit ReadyServices.com. We just heard from Eric Bieniemy. What was your reaction to, one, of course, at the very beginning of how he addressed the personal matter, but then we can get into some of the football stuff, including, once again, accountability, no matter who you are, and that's the part that they've been talking up throughout the entire camp.
Yeah, I had learned pretty early on after the shooting that Mia was going to have a pretty good chance to have a full recovery. So I wanted to make it a point of emphasis today to ask Eric that himself so that we could get that on the record. And so he didn't deny that. He said, that she is on a great road to recovery, that there are plenty of family members alongside her, which is something I had also learned as well. And so a lot of things were just like, okay, how much is he going to want to discuss about this? I think he made it pretty clear early on that he didn't want to talk about the legal ramifications of all this regarding his son, who obviously, as we've talked about before, has been charged and, is basically being held. I don't know if is he being held without bond? I believe so.
Last I saw,
yeah. Being held without bond, there's a mental competency test evaluation that has been taking place, so I don't know if we're going to get an update on that from the judge in Virginia anytime soon. But he wasn't going to talk about that part of it. But I did want to ask him about Mia and just his perspective of being alongside her. I know it was Vahe Gregorian from the Kansas City Star who asked about watching practice live and going through, some of the more, human nature of it all that fans deal with, which is screaming at the television without any real,
all been there.
Without any real chance of making an impact. Now he can make a call, he can, give notes, but obviously he's screaming, why are we doing this, or what is that player thinking, and to the point where it was some level of normalcy that Mia gave her blessing for him to come back. So that happened basically 8-9 days ago, was my understanding. And, of course, he was there for all of game week in preparation for the preseason opener. So, that was probably the most we were going to get out of Eric when it came to the personal part of his circumstances right now. And, the next thing I wanted to ask him was just, because he's been around Patrick and he was so impactful in Patrick's development in terms of the mentality and the leadership skills needed to, lead a football team at that early stage of his career, to see how much not only has Patrick matured on the field, but, him being more impressed with what he did this offseason to put himself in a position to be on track to play week 1 against the Denver Broncos. On September 14th, he had similar comments about Kenneth Walker, but largely it's so funny for him to be like, okay, I have to be somewhat subdued. I have to be, obviously the circumstances he's dealing with from his family situation are plenty in terms of the gravity of it all. But it's also, quite interesting to know that, like, okay, this is as nice as I can be, that I want to absolutely crush these guys. And that has been my goal,
I guess,
since we came back from Arrowhead.
How's the message been? So, when Eric Bieniemy was here, it worked. When he went to other places, in my opinion, it's because losing players or losing franchises don't know how to deal with tough coaching, or that message always falls flat when you get 6 wins. You're like, stop yelling at me. We already stink. I don't know. So, I guess I'm curious, how has the early message been received? How is that hard coaching style going over right now in Kansas City?
One of the things that he used to do that I truly didn't realize until, it was after the fact, is that he would always, and he doesn't say it as much now, but he would always say strain to finish. You have to do things that are unusual compared to what you're used to finish the play, whether that's get an extra yard, break an extra tackle, get in the end zone, whatever's possible. And I'll be honest, he's been on Rashee Rice's neck about like his lack of effort at times.
Yeah.
Whether he's caught whether he's caught the ball or not, like, you know, make the defense earn the right to tackle you or to stop the play. And I think he's trying to get from a mental standpoint of just like push yourself, because no one else is going to do it. You know, you're going to be in a situation where things are not going to be ideal. And so if you're Emmett Johnson, like, you got to be close enough to die for the quarterback, in essence. Are you doing everything possible physically, mentally, psychologically to put yourself between you and the quarterback? Because that guy has done everything this offseason to be in a position where we're going to ask you at some point to protect him, right? There's going to be a blitz coming, and you got to be aware of these things. Kenneth Walker, in terms of his cutbacks, his angles, what he's reading out from the defense, what he's reading out from the offensive line. And, you know, as much as I think this is still an Andy Heck-led project with the offensive line, I think Eric wants nastiness when it comes to running the football. That was what made Chicago so successful last year, was not just being under play action, not just using motion and multiple tight ends to get you certain angles to not make the defense feel like they knew where the run was coming from, but it was also like finishing, being nasty, and like using your hands properly. That's why he mentioned holding being so paramount, is that like, okay, if we're changing some of our, not necessarily our techniques, but our mentality and like getting our hands on the defenders, well, you got to strain the finish. You can't just give the initial punch, give the initial 1-2, and then hold a guy. Like, the reason why you're holding is because you're not finishing the play through. So I think all those technical aspects of it, along with the physical and psychological part of it, makes it his job to sort of just be out in front so that guys understand that, oh, it's supposed to click at some point, whether it's opening night or whether it's later in the season, to where, oh, I get that's why he's yelling at me, or that's why he's maybe being a little bit more harsh than I'm used to compared to what the coaching staff was last year and what the points of emphasis were last year. I think the points of emphasis last year were more scheme-related, and I think this year, from an Eric Bieniemy standpoint, it's got to be like, are you using everything in your physical power to execute at a high level? Because the scheme, how much we change it or not, the scheme's going to give you a chance to succeed, but it's about you and what you want to do from the beginning of the play all the way through the end of it.
We're live here at Chiefs Camp, joined by Nate Taylor from ESPN. We were hearing from EB, but prior to that, the Chiefs gave an update on some of the injuries today. Where are we at? Obviously, you haven't had a chance to talk to anybody more than what we heard there so far. It just happened. But Josh Simmons, we saw walk down the hill, no pads, didn't practice. Then during practice, Tyquan Thornton goes up in the front of the cart. So it's a hamstring injury for Tyquan, back injury, Josh Simmons. What's your sense of the – let's start with Josh Simmons, because we were talking in the 10 o'clock hour today. I'm hoping it is – I was hoping it was. Maybe it's not. Yesterday, we were all wondering why he was getting so many reps with the threes they had because of the injuries.
Yes.
Was it tough practice? He's working more than we wanted him to. He said his back maybe didn't feel right. Let's just give him the day off kind of thing. Or is there more? Are you worried that there's more?
Is he really hurt?
I mean, Drew Tranquill had back spasms, and he was gone for 2 weeks. He finally returned today.
Yes, and was limited today. They didn't push him, to do everything like, 9-on-7 or 11-on-11. What's fascinating is we don't get Coach Andy Reid today. Obviously, we got Eric Bieniemy.
We won't get him till Thursday, right?
Yep. So we gonna see now.
We're just going to have to sweat it.
We might have to sweat it when it comes to Josh Simmons. Anytime, ladies and gentlemen, you hear offensive lineman and back,
be a little scared.
That I don't want to hear that. I want to hear anything else. You can say pectoral, and at least I know that's football related, and like that can be fixed over time. Now, obviously, that would be a elongated period to return, but I'd rather hear elbow, pectoral, ankle, knee. Well, maybe not knee, but back. Back is up there in terms of like I don't want to hear that. So at least he was out with his teammates today. He wasn't just like
he was able to walk down the hill,
like doing some stuff on like stretching or whatever on the side.
So I guess you're not going to play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I guess, but Nate, this is why.
Hey, we're going to see a lot of Benson with the ones.
I guess so.
They're a really great coaching staff, so it's not often I talk about coaching malpractice. This was my issue with him being up against the third team
yesterday
in a meaningless practice in St. Joe. What the hell's he doing Like, I mean, and I said, like yesterday.
And
like,
who knows, right?
Yeah,
we don't know. We don't know.
But we try to avoid the anybody but when it comes to like. But I'm dead serious. I don't care if
Ethan
it's
Driscoll needs
I don't
more
care
reps.
if it's Emmitt Smith's son playing left tackle, not Simmons against the third string. Sorry if you die today, Garrett. Life's life.
Life's life,
But
baby.
we need the starting left tackle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
like,
the problem is Drew Godric went down with an ankle, and they said, "Oh no, this is one of those things."
I don't care if it's Mike Caliendo playing left tackle.
This is where you have to protect some of the players sometimes. Where you say, "Oh man, we don't have Drew Godric. Is Driscoll already out there? Hey, we need somebody at left tackle." And Josh says, "Me."
You're like, no. Not you.
If you're Andy Heck, you go, no. Anyone. So I wonder if that was a situation too where he's like, well, hell, I'll take more reps. I don't mind. I'm young and dynamic and want to work on some things. But the other issue too is because it's a back, we don't know if it's mid back, lower back,
Andy won't tell us till Thursday. And he'll be back,
right.
but he'll tell us more.
With Drew Tranquil, when you say lower back spasms, I know what that is. I'm 30. I don't need to be doing this. I'm not sleeping in my own bed.
My back hurt a little bit helping my kid with his Lego.
Come on, coach.
I was hunched over, Nate, and then I was like, tight spot.
L'Jarius Sneed came down. Okay, if you want me to come and pass today, okay, I will. It's not September? Yeah, I'm going to go over here and lift some weights again. Took his pads off within 10 minutes of practice starting. It was hilarious. I'll do a little one-on-one. I'll make Steve happy. So, again, with Josh, I'm not overly concerned, but something to monitor. Tyquan Thornton's a little bit different because he was running real routes today. He was doing pretty well. Yeah. He was testing Mansour Delane in 7-on-7, and all of a sudden he's just not in the huddle. Where is he? All of a sudden I see him in the tent. Okay, they're not really, attending to him or evaluating him in front of us. Okay, what does that mean? And all of a sudden he's on a cart and he's gone. And you're like, oh, okay. So he clearly must have told somebody, yeah, maybe pulled a little something. Don't want to test it. Don't want to push it anymore. So
and sometimes those are just a day or two. It just depends.
Well, for him, I'd say see you next week. We've seen you enough. You've done really well in camp. Your spot secure. He played 2 snaps, I guess, in the preseason opener.
Yeah, he didn't play much.
See when do we get because there's so many injuries now. I think it's actually a detriment to Patrick Mahomes because it's if we put you out there in the preseason finale against Seattle Seahawks, is John Smith going to be out there?
Practicing against a normal guy?
Is Trey Smith going to be back by then?
I just shut it all down for the next 27 days. I hate to be that guy, but knowing what happened in the injury front last year, there's a part of me that just says they got 20. That's a long time. They got 27 days until they have to play a football game.
Correct.
Because they play a full 5 or 6 days later than the team who's got to open up in Melbourne. So maybe just take a few.
And I'm okay with that because as much as I know Patrick would like to play, get into a rhythm, maybe want to throw a pass to Cyrus Allen that's not against the Denver Broncos, right? I don't see it. There's too much of a list, and it's kind of been an annoying injury list. I won't even call it an injury bug. It's just
no. They seem like they got really healthy today. They had a bunch of guys return to the practice field,
and then
more important players left somehow.
I mean, Ashton Gelati's out here dropping into coverage against was it Jared Wiley. And all of a sudden, my foot, nope. And you can tell he looked at Coach, and Coach says,
Let's
stop.
Yeah.
Go, get away from me.
I do want to mention one positive guy today. I thought, and look, again, I'm an amateur watching enough training camp to understand when somebody's just winning. And I felt like today the guy who won a lot was Noah Williams. I felt like they went up against a number of the number one wide receivers on the team or the number 1s and 2s. And it didn't seem like much was getting past Noel today.
Yeah.
And I saw the stat in the ESPN article from your friend Benjamin Solak and Aaron Schatz and all the future power rankings over there. The comment that sometimes you just forget about of them being the team who ran man coverage more than any team in the league. And you'd think, in the absence of Trent McDuffie, maybe that dial back a little bit. And then I think, no. That's why they wanted Delane.
Yes.
And that's why Noel Williams is an important player for them this year.
He really is.
He looked good today, that's all.
Yes, he did. And, again, now he's getting more reps with Xavier Worthy getting back into the mix. Obviously, Cyrus Allen's doing more reps with the first team than the second team. He had obviously a really good rep against Tyquan Thornton earlier in one-on-ones. the best thing about both of those guys, including Delane now, is they're supposed to both be physical, not afraid to tackle, gonna get up in your face and not be afraid. And so in a wild manner, the Chiefs are hoping that, there's not that much of a drop-off between Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson to Mansour Delane and Noah Williams.
But I think if you take a guy 6th overall, that's not an unreasonable request.
No.
Trent McDuffie was pretty much Trent McDuffie from day one.
Right. And so you hope Delane continues to get better. I do want to see him in the next 2 preseason games just so that he can start to demonstrate some of those traits, even though you're going to be having very vanilla, like cover 1, cover 3 sort of responsibilities would be my guess. But, yeah, I just love the fact that Noah Williams has made it quite clear there was a camp competition. Like, I wrote on ESPN.com that, like, the most competitive position entry training camp was at cornerback, and he shut that down immediately. Like, part of that is because L'Jarius Sneed is a veteran, and I don't need to do anything until the calendar flips to, September. But, like, in terms of, like, Christian Fulton, nowhere to be found. There was a little bit of, like, hey, is Chris Wallace going to be outside, inside? He looks to be mostly an inside guy. Okay, that's fine. Jaden Kennedy, I thought he did okay in the preseason game, but he still got some timing.
I was going to ask about him. How's he looking?
He still got timing to deal with, and you could tell when, at least from what I watched, and especially when I rewatched the game on Saturday, boy, he looks like you're thinking a lot.
Looks like I would say that about Josh Williams his rookie year. They eventually did use him, but
correct.
Like, they chose their spots.
Yes, and like limiting your role. So again, the whole playbook's technically, or most of the playbook's open to these guys. And then you might want to ask them to do different things from a cover standpoint in a game that you would not ask them to do in the regular season when you're actually, game planning for a specific opponent or a specific set of receivers during certain formations, packages, down and distance, all that included. But I just love the fact that, like, there really is no cornerback situation. The only thing that's left because of what Noah Williams has done is where does L'Jarius Sneed fit in? When he's healthy, if he's going to play against the different Broncos, is he that third cornerback? When you want to go into the dime personnel looks, I don't know, but it's tough. Like, would you put L'Jarius Sneed in the slot, in the nickel, because of his experience, or do you still want to give that to Chris Wallace?
I think he should be like a third down running back. Like, I think,
just
like,
use him.
Legitimately,
I'm with you because
it's 3rd and 9, keep him healthy, put him out there in coverage.
Right. Instead of, like, run fitting on first down when a team's trying to,
we don't need you doing that.
Going against the edge. Yeah.
Well, I just would be worried about Snead given his injury track record and the knee and everything. I want him to be playing in November, December, January as well, not just September. I just wonder how careful they have to be with him to make sure he makes it through 17 games.
Hey, I don't want to see you till Labor Day. I don't want to see you do anything, sir. We are managing that knee from day 1 to hopefully, week 17. And, you can give us some snaps that are, similar to like what, Kendall Fuller did and like that 2019-2020 role sort of late in the year where you could say, hey, he could do a plethora of things because he is such a veteran and he's a sure tackler and he knows what he should be doing in coverage.
Nate Taylor of ESPN will let you get up the hill here as we got heavy rain and everything. Have fun running in the rain. Someone was wondering, if you actually are going to the concert tonight that you mentioned last week, J. Cole.
It's tomorrow.
Or is it tomorrow night?
I think it's tomorrow.
You're right. It's tomorrow night. Someone on the text says,
I'm going to be there, baby.
Someone said, is J. Cole tonight? No,
J.
tomorrow.
Cole is tomorrow.
You and Drew are going, right?
That's right. Yeah. Holly's going to be there. We got the babysitter, so we're all
overnight
good.
Or just for the evening?
No, just for the evening.
Right. That's a different.
Cody's trying to set something up for you. That's all. He's trying to set up a nice night.
I would love to.
That one overnight, it hits sometimes.
Problem is, I got to come here Thursday to shut camp down.
That's Military Appreciation Day. No one needs to work that day.
I'm going to be so tired. But I've heard it's been a great concert so far based on the tour, and hopefully J. Cole delivers. But, yeah, man, I'll be out there. You kids have fun, and I look forward to, to just vibing out.
All right, coming up next, guys, let's get to what's trending. We'll get back into the power rankings of the future for the NFL, and Drew's got some camp questions for us here on 96.5 The Fan.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
AC service shouldn't be a hassle. That's why KC calls on KB Complete for all their cooling needs. For over 30 years, whether it's an AC repair, replacement, or maintenance, no job is too big or too small. From start to KB Complete, we believe in honest work, real results, and the kind of care that makes a difference. Call KB Complete at 913-730-5111 or visit kbcomplete.com today.
Your job's not done until it's KB Complete.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here with Rob Side at Rob Side Ford. Rob, I smell a grill. What's cooking?
Kevin, the grills are fired up, and so are the deals. Right now at Rob Site Ford, it's the Ford Employee Pricing Sales Event with the best deals we've had in the past 12 months.
Now that's saying something. What are we talking?
Employee pricing on virtually every new Ford on our lot, plus even more dealer discounts on top.
So how hot do these deals get?
Up to $17,500 off brand new F-150s at Rob Site Ford, plus huge savings on Expedition, Explorer, Bronco Sport, Bronco, and more.
Wow, that's 5 alarm hot.
Exactly, and unlike Kevin's Burgers, these deals are coming out juicy.
All right, I walked into that one.
Shop Rob Site Ford, Kansas City's top-rated Ford store on Google. 4.8 stars and nearly 3,500 reviews.
Rob Site Ford, 135th and State Line, or robsite.com.
Buy right, Rob Site.
Whether I'm setting up the ultimate tailgate or hosting a watch party, game day is all about the Chiefs and keeping it stress-free. That's why I go to Hy-Vee. They make planning a breeze with everything you need in one convenient stop. We're talking about tailgate trays packed with sliders, wings, charcuterie, sushi, appetizers, and those iconic Chiefs-themed cookies. Plus, a massive wine and spirits department to top off your beverage order. Let Hy-Vee handle the work. Just order online for pickup or delivery. It's a total game changer, only at Hy-Vee.
Back to school savings start now at Hy-Vee's 3-day sale. Stock up and save big this Friday through Sunday with hot deals in every department. Meat, produce, bread, cereal, and snacks. Want an easier way to shop? Order on the Hy-Vee app or at Hy-Vee.com. Choose pickup or delivery and we'll do the shopping for you. Save time, save money. Shop your way during the back to school sale this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
1 in 8 men will face prostate cancer in his lifetime. That could be your father, your brother, your best friend, or you. Prostate cancer often has no early warning signs, but when caught early, it's highly treatable. At Kansas City Urology Care, our board-certified urologists specialize in prostate health, offering advanced diagnostics, personalized treatment plans, and expert care every step of the way. Don't ignore it. Don't delay it. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit KCUC.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
The best football contests are back out in Las Vegas with Circa Sports. $30 million in guaranteed prizes. No rake in any of the 3 contests. Circa Million, 18 weeks of point spread action, 128 ways to win. Or Circa Survivor. You pick one winner each week, the last one standing wins. And Circa Grandissimo with $100,000 entry. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $30 million guaranteed. Visit circusports.com for details.
Hey, it's Brew. Between my radio show, filming content, editing videos, and trying to stay connected with family, reliable Wi-Fi isn't really optional anymore. I just need it to work. And that's why I like that with Xfinity, you get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years, guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, Xfinity makes getting connected simple with same-day Wi-Fi so you can get online in minutes. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity, imagine that.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
This is the story of the one. The one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Useful tools and advice that work for your financial situation. That's a great call. Join Main Street Credit Union and get access to a whole coaching staff of certified financial counselors who can help you create a perfect financial game plan with our spend accounts. Real people, real progress. Visit mainstreetcu.org to see how we can take your financial game to the next level.
Listen to the Royals and Tigers over on the AM 610 this Saturday with Vern's pregame starting at 5 and first pitch at 6:15 on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number one on What's Trending, we are still broadcasting up here in St. Joe. Practice wrapped up around 11:15. It has been raining ever since. Probably going to rain up here till about 2 o'clock. So as of right now, no lightning, so we plan on staying on the air despite some of the weather in the air. It looks like it's going to be a nice soaking rain for a good another 2 hours or so. But we did get some injury news, unfortunately, today at practice. You just heard our conversation with Nate Taylor. Nobody has a firm answer on how severe it is, but you get nervous when you hear back injury for offensive linemen. The Chiefs saying Josh Simmons did not practice today because of a back injury. Also, Tyquan Thornton has a strained hamstring. He left in the middle of practice, went up on the cart, but in the front of the cart, but dealing with a hamstring injury. We did see a couple guys return, though, which was good. Drew Tranquill was back at practice. Even if it was a light practice for him, he didn't do everything. He was in pads, good to go today. Also, Shamari Connor was back at practice. So that's the injury front here from Chiefs camp.
Keep an eye on a couple of those. That is obviously they matter for some of the starters. But again, still 27 days till the Chiefs' first game. Next up on What Training, the Royals were winners last night, 9-5 over the A's. The key there was the lineup was mostly back. Michael Garcia, Vinny Pasquantino, Cags, Carter Jensen, Salvi, they were all in the lineup for the first time since early June. Wow. It had been 2 months since we had the full complimentary lineup and, honestly, the new look lineup. Now that you know Carter Jensen and Jack Caglione can ball, they were near the top of the lineup. Vinny Pasquantino hit 5th and had a lot more flexibility in the grouping around it. They tacked on 9 runs, got that win over the A's. Another game tonight. Same thing, Vern's on Deck show starting tonight at 5:30.
Yeah, we'll be out there tonight. I think there's some people from the station will be out there.
I unfortunately can't make it.
We've got a company thing going on tonight at the game, so we'll be hanging out there at least for part of it. Hope to see some of you out there. 6:40 first pitch. Elsewhere, thinking of the Royals, the big news today around them centers around their stadium. You may have seen yesterday the announcement of this proposed stadium agreement, including $55 million minimum in community commitment. The Royals' proposed community benefits agreement promises at least that $55 million number. Of the $55 million, they proposed $5 million would go to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum to help with construction expansion. We all know that would be a huge boost to the museum there. Another $5 million would support Kansas City's Housing Gateway program, which works to reduce homelessness in the KC area. Also, $14 million would be toward public art, the arts organizations, and related programs. The remaining $31 million would be given out each year over the stadium lease. Those contributions could go up by as much as 2% each year to try to keep up with inflation. Today, though, there is a public hearing going on. You showed me a video from, I think it was Channel 9.
I did get drug out, yeah. Ty Palmer had it.
Okay, so from 41, I apologize.
Yep,
41. From 41, where it's getting a little heated today, to say the least, at the meeting. Today's, I think, the zoning meeting as well. Tomorrow or Friday, we're expected to have a member of the KC City Council join us on the show to talk more about this. But it's a big week for all of this. Some more specifics we can get into after What's Trending, but basically it includes who would pay for what improvements, right? Like the Royals would pay for improvements to Washington Square Park to handle the upkeep, the construction, right? The Royals would require the general contractor and subcontractors to pay the prevailing wages.
And break ground in May with the have to be open by 2031, but the goal of being open March of 2030. So it'd actually be open a full season earlier.
Before the lease would be up. Yeah, opening day, that would be a full year before the team's lease is up.
That would be the hope. Next up on What Trending Sporting, Kansas City's acquired 24-year-old forward Andre Luis in a club record transfer agreement with a Greek club, Olympiakos. The club announced today Luis, who will join Sporting as a designated player, has signed a 5-year MLS contract through 2030-31. The transfer fee Sporting paid is undisclosed, but reportedly is the single highest upfront fee they've ever paid. It's not official, but The Athletic says it's an $18 million upfront fee with a total package of $22 million. That'd be $4 to $6 million higher than any player they've ever paid for.
Well, they got to get this thing turned around, to say the least. And
that means no Mo Salah, probably. You know, I was getting excited about
that. He already signed with Galatasaray in Turkey.
Did he?
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Do you know anything about? Honestly, do you know anything about this Andre Luis guy though? They signed. I'm not going to.
He's rated 68 in FIFA's game from last year.
So that's what we're basing it off of. It's just a video game.
He had no goal. He had no goals last year and no assists. I don't think he played very much. Hence why he's leaving Europe and coming down.
Is there a reason why the fee is so high?
I mean, $18 million is not particularly.
It's high for Sporting. It's higher. It's high for the MLS.
For Sporting, yes, it's high. I don't.
Yeah, I'm not talking about for an EPL team signing.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm talking about for MLS. That feels like it's one of the highest figures we've seen.
Maybe because he's younger. He's only 24,
yeah.
I think.
Okay.
He didn't play much when he was in Greece, but he played well. I think he's Brazilian. I think he played pretty well when he was in the Brazilian. I think he played in Brazil before going to Greece. And
he's played primarily right wing and center forward. So we'll see what
he plays.
Lastly, on What's Trending, I know we'll plan on talking about this more in the 1 o'clock hour, but Roger Goodell was doing an interview with a German television outlet today, and he says the NFL will add an international team at some point, when and where it could happen. He says it's a matter of when, not if, the league expands abroad. We'll talk more about this, which brings a whole host of other questions to come.
Yeah.
I think, look, if you're just saying in general, one day the NFL will play games overseas, I would say, well, yeah, I expect that as well. But it's pretty telling, as firm as Roger Goodell said it in this interview, is it sooner than we think? I mean, in my lifetime, yeah, I expect the NFL to have teams overseas. The question is, guys, is it in 5 years or 25 years?
Yeah, and I guess that's I don't know how you do it without, going full division. I don't know how you do it,
multiple teams.
Genuinely,
yeah.
I think it would borderline, they don't have the talent, but the best way to do it would be 8. For travel purposes, 4 in the NFC, 4 in the AFC.
That's brutal.
Would limit the way you travel. You do 2 international trips a year, 18-game schedule. I mean, but who the hell's playing quarterback for Team 8? J.J. McCarthy with Andrew Wiley playing left tackle for the Rain Fire or whatever. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it with just adding 1 or 2 and make the international trips not hurt so bad. So, that part's still of a question.
I still think we're, what are we in 2026? I think 2035 is the earliest. I think we would have multiple teams in some other country. We all assume Europe, but international in general. We all assume it would be Europe. But as someone that has grown up with the NFL, someone that's obviously in the Kansas City market, I can't stand the idea of there being permanent teams in Europe. That would drive me crazy.
I know. It would.
And to your point,
I'd get used to it, but I wouldn't
the roster talent. And there's already offensive line deficiencies in the league with 32 teams.
Yeah.
Let alone when we add 4 more teams, 6 more teams, whatever it might be. Anyway, that's what's trending as we continue broadcasting live from St. Joe. Don't forget our training camp coverage is presented by Break Time. Whether fueling up or grabbing a snack on the way to training camp, Break Time reminds you not all convenience stores are the same. Download their app and find a location near you. Coming up in about 6 minutes, we'll get to some camp questions from Drew. But back to the future of the NFL in a different way, not the international aspect, but just these front offices, these quarterbacks, these coaches. ESPN did a future power ranking article. They had different media members like Louis Riddick and Ben Solak contribute to this. And they went through and they graded out on scales 100 was an A+, 90 to 99 is an A, your typical grade scale 80 to 89 is a B, etc. 50 and below is an F. Cody hands those out when his students don't do their jobs properly in assignments at UMKC.
I actually have a school-related random question today.
Okay, so we'll get to that also later on this hour. But anyway, they did an overall future ranking of the Chiefs beyond this year as the 11th best team in the league. And they broke it down by their roster, excluding the quarterback. The Chiefs got a 76.5. They got a C, which was 18th. Quarterback, they got a 97, which was number 1. So finally somebody at ESPN is acknowledging that.
Yeah, those 4 understand how quarterback works.
Yeah, which is nice. Coaching 12th, and then front office 13th. I think those are the 2 that we have the most issue with. Not that they need to be number 1 in everything. That's not what this is. However, I don't know how, even beyond, let's say, the next 3 years, they have the 13th best front office. They're behind the Chargers. They're behind. Nobody's saying that there aren't reasons to be critical. Mistakes have been made. They got to draft better. Brett Veach has to find himself a stud wide receiver. He's got to find these other positions. However, this organization, this front office, has built multiple championship rosters. How are they the 13th best front office, even if we spread it out 5 more years from now?
I don't understand it. Like the coach thing, I think I can simply boil it down to one thing, that they think Andy Reid might retire soon, and for whatever reason, despite the fact there are coaches as old as him, I genuinely think it's a weight thing. They're always kicking Andy Reid out of the league a lot faster than guys like Pete Carroll or Jim Harbaugh or others. So, okay, fine. I'll just chalk it up to, I think genuinely because Andy's a slightly bigger guy, they really do put that on there. The Brett Veach should be insulted. 13th best future front office? Who's changing? It's still going to be Brett Veach. Gold, I told you earlier you were deeply offended because the Chargers were 5 full spots
ridiculous.
ahead of them. Can I tell you a different team, Drew? Gold, can I tell you a different team that's ahead of them? Number 12, 1 spot ahead of the Chiefs in the future front office rankings. The New York Jets. The Jets have a better future front office ranking than the Chiefs. And to me, once we start getting there, that's when you got to look at your list and be like, oh, no, we got to switch something around here. That simply just won't do. Nobody can think that the Jets front office, and because this is the thing, I do not think, and this is where we draw a line, or like I guess we get confused. I don't think Brett Veach is the best GM in football. Maybe it's a hot take in Kansas City, I don't know. I think there's a few GMs who do a better job. I think Les Snead does a better job. Okay?
He's definitely top 5, though.
Yes. I think, but because that's the part. His job is to build teams that compete for championships. In those years, he has been in the AFC title game, and every single year he has been the GM until last year. He has been in the Super Bowl 5 of the years as a GM. And so I can't, how can you tell me that he's not doing a good enough job? And you can say that Andy Reid's covering for his ass, or you can say that Patrick Mahomes is covering for him. And some of those things are probably true. That if it were a different quarterback, some of the misses in the draft might stand out as being, but it's not some hindrance that's holding them back in every single capacity. Because if I go through every single year in which he's been the general manager, which starts in 2018. 2018 was a total whiff. Fine. That's okay. I got it. He found starter quality players, or at least consistent starting players starting in 19 that won Super Bowls. And then I would argue, 2020 didn't go great, but starter in Willie Gay, contributor in Michael Dana, starter in L'Jarius Sneed, and so on and so forth. He's not just whiffing every single year.
But he has got to. So again, this is always where there's somewhere in between here we can agree. We don't have to go to the extreme of saying that he is deserving of being the 15th GM in football. We also don't need to act like he hasn't made mistakes.
Of course he did.
He has got
several first-round picks.
Like some of the text line says 13th best front office is generous. Okay, I just firmly disagree. However,
so you guys think if they had Les Snead, they would just won 8 straight Super Bowls? Can I just ask the question?
Some people on the text line
is that what you think it is?
But at the same time, he has to, moving forward, find his peers. His peers of the franchise, pillars of the franchise, I'm sorry.
At key positions.
At the key spots, Cody. Yeah. The prior pillars of this run were not his guys. That does not mean that he gets zero credit, though, and that's what some people want to do. However, moving forward, who's the next pillar for the next 5 to 10 years? Is it somebody like Mansour Delane?
It
needs to be. I thought it was McDuffie as well. It needs to be somebody like Delane. Is there a chance? It's somebody like Cyrus Allen? I have no idea.
Or Simmons.
It's funny whenever we have the GM conversation, though. If we talk about Cyrus Allen standalone, he's the next Puka Nacua, he's a star. The same person will text in and say Brett Veach is terrible at finding talent. It can't be both. You can't think that Cyrus Allen is already a star and then also tell me Brett Veach can't draft anybody. You can't be both.
My biggest problem is that Brett Veach has had trouble drafting 2 spots, pass rusher and wide receiver. And those happen to be in the ranking of most important positions on an NFL field at the top. Quarterback, 1. Pass rusher 2, I would argue wide receiver 3. So the 3 most important positions, he has struggled to consistently draft players that aren't just contributors at pass rusher and at wide receiver. Now, I will say, you can have issues with, I guess, George Karlaftis not being Myles Garrett. George Karlaftis is a good NFL pass rusher. So, like, you can do a lot worse than a guy like that. I think in the history of his drafts, he's only had 2 complete whiffs in the draft. And they were, or not complete whiffs, 1 complete whiff in the draft, which is his first year as a GM. That's really common. And then I would say his second worst year was 2 years ago when he still found, he blew it on Felix Anudike-Uzomah. Rashee Rice has been a problem, although talented. Wanya never turned into anything. Shamari Conner led his team in snaps last year, so he's definitely used him. And then 3 guys in the later rounds that didn't matter.
But the next
he's also been bad in the first round. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think this is why people hated Gold.
Yeah, the next year or so, though, they whether it's this draft class, this free agent class, etc., has to set them up for the future, though, for this to still be a conversation, because last year's free agent class was very weak, to say the least. That's being pretty nice when you look at who they brought in from a year ago. Got to get way more there. But also, at the same time, I thought this was a good point from someone that texted in. How many from his staff are now GMs in the league? If it's such a bad front office, then how come consistently they have had 3 pieces in the last 4 years either go be GMs themselves, or their number 2 guys now in, like, Carolina? Obviously, Ryan Poles is in Chicago.
Had guys still in charge in Indianapolis. Chris Ballard.
So this idea that this front office has not been able to produce is not accurate. But it doesn't mean they're not
problems or he's not perfect.
Not concerns moving forward. I just don't think there's a scenario where you're telling me that over the next 3 years the Chiefs just have a middle-of-the-road front office. I don't buy that.
Agreed.
All right, Drew, let's get to some questions.
Camp questions.
All right, guys. I got 2 questions for you, and then you guys only have 1 more day after this. So,
yes, sir.
Thank God.
2 questions.
Honestly, it's fine. I'm just like,
Cody,
you get to the end of camp and then you're just ready to be done with it.
It's more like moments like this where there's nobody else around, the field's empty, and we're just sitting in a downpour looking at an empty field. It's stuff like that. But anyway, go ahead.
All right, so the first question I got for you guys had Jake Brenton on today, tight end. Also Jared Wiley, a tight end that I don't think you guys have had, but he's spoken at camp. Are either of them actually capable of being the answer at tight end post Travis, or do the Chiefs, are they going to end up having to just take one in April? Do you guys think that either of them pose any way of filling that role that Travis is leaving behind?
Look, I appreciate Jake Brenton coming on the show. Seems like a great guy. No. Brenton and Jared Wiley are not long-term answers at tight end for the Chiefs. I don't think we're breaking any news here. Yeah, No, not at all. I think they're going to have to either draft or free agency address this tight end position post-Travis Kelce. We think that's after this year. Best case scenario for either of the 2 names we mentioned is that in 2027 they're the 2 or 3 tight end for this team. That's like best case scenario.
Yeah, I think that they've got they might get 1 extra year out of Travis Kelce. I think they got like a 30% chance that he might just love football and decide to come back. But if you look at like the upcoming free agents in the NFL at tight end for 2027, it'd be a stopgap. Evan Ingram, TJ Hawkinson, Dallas Goedert. These are all old guys just like Travis Kelce. I think in the end they're going to have to go back to the draft and likely high in the draft at some point, or they're going to do it like every other team in the NFL. And they're going to have just a couple of Jags at tight end, and they're going to finally get into the free agent wide receiver, trade wide receiver market, or one of those big heavy hitters. But none of those guys have any chance to replace even 50% of the production Travis Kelce's been giving.
All right, the second question I got, with Drew Tranquill still kind of, I know he's back, but dealing with the back issue and Cochran's potential knee injury, is this Bassa or even Cooper McDonald, his name's come up, is it their chance to fill in, or is there any, I guess, question as to whether or not you should look to sign somebody, or whether it's just giving Bassa a chance with, we don't know how serious Cochran's knee injury is yet, but, with those things hanging over that linebacker room a little bit.
I mean, Boss has been back. Tranquil's been back at practice today at least, so that makes me feel a little bit better.
Cooper McDonald's going to play meaningful snaps.
Yeah, Bossa, as we've talked with Nate, athletically is really exciting. The problem is he truly a linebacker? Nate has brought up he's a bit of a tweener, and so how does that fit in Spag's system? I feel better, though, if you told me at that position if suddenly there was an injury to somebody like Drew Tranquil for a week or two. This year, I think there's maybe a player that could step in a bit more. I think we all would have liked Leo Chanel to be on the roster still, but he went out and got a nice contract with the Washington Commanders. At some point, when we just got done talking about the front office, you drafted Bossa so that you don't have to pay somebody like Chanel. So it's time for that to pay off too. Like that's the whole. As much as people are critical of paying Nick Bolton, you don't want to pay every linebacker, so you have to let some of these guys walk. They chose to let Chanel walk. Now it's time for Bossa or Cochran or McDonald to step up.
I think McDonald will probably end up being the third linebacker in most scenarios. But also you have to remember that Leo Chanel's his role didn't look like this Gold until his final year in Kansas City. He was a slow build-up. Slowly got more and more and more time. So it might be the same thing for Bossa. What's your last question, Drew?
Oh, it was just going to be, how much are you looking forward to only having one more day?
Look, I have been covering camp a really long time. There are days in which it is certainly good to be out here, and I will constantly applaud the Chiefs for making their training camp more accessible than any team in the league. I'm ready to be back. No more 2-shower days, Gold. Ready to be back to just 1 shower and call it a day.
I don't know, man. I'm going to miss it. I love driving up here in the morning and love driving an hour back home every day. I absolutely love the drive. It's my favorite thing.
I have finished, and I am not kidding, 3 books in my drive.
Oh, what have I been listening to? I just been going on Spotify, some of my random playlist, or 2 weeks ago I was on the Mumford & Sons kick because I went to the concert. So for about a week straight I was listening to nothing but Mumford & Sons. Today it was just under my liked playlist, so like anything I've liked. So it is all over the map. We were just talking about J. Cole. It's got a few of his songs. It's also got Chris Stapleton. I mean, it's all over the place. All over the place.
3 books.
The books I can't do. I would literally fall asleep and drive off the side of the road. I would fall asleep driving if I had to listen to a book.
I just, some of it is like I've done music pretty much every year at camp, but I've been on a big audiobook kick, and so I wanted to. Yeah. I figured I'd give it a shot, and they're so long, but like the drives are long enough, and we go so many days up here. I've gotten through quite a few in my time getting up into St. Joe this year,
Bink's called me a few times. I've had just nice conversations with Bink on the drive back.
I think I got to go on with the drive today, so that'll fill up some of my drive home today.
I was on the drive yesterday, and then Bink called me 2 minutes after and wanted to talk some more football. That killed some more time on the drive and made the drive a little quicker. Someone says, don't you guys ride together? No, we've talked about it.
We live in opposite ends of
it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, I live out south. Cody lives up north. It just wouldn't make any sense from a route. So, yeah, we drive separate. If we both lived in this, within 10 minutes of each other, we probably would because it makes it. But, yeah, completely separate ends of town, so we drive separate.
But the other part about it, then this isn't even like a knock on Alex. I kind of want to zone out after 6 hours at training camp. So, like, the fact that we'd be in the car together, maybe we could do some music or whatever, but Alex doesn't want to listen to the book I'm listening to. So I kind of like having my own time in the car. That's all. That's true for your camp questions.
Someone on the text line is arguing that the front office has to do with the food at for the athletes, and I would say Brett Veach is not in charge of the cafeteria food. Thank you very much. So if you're going to knock Brett Veach for that, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, there's a lot of things to be critical of. I don't believe the front office is the purview, whatever, of Brett Veach isn't the cafeteria food or the family childhood care that might be in the facility. Somebody's in charge of that. That has nothing to do with that. There you go. Someone says, are you guys complaining about getting paid to watch the Chiefs?
No,
not at all.
A little.
Yeah. Also, watch the Chiefs is let's use air quotes on that. I mean, it's training camp practice. So there's more to our job than just sitting here and watching practice, I must say.
It's like sometimes if you live in the beach and every day you could look out and see the ocean, it doesn't seem as cool after a while,
Up next.
That's also the second to last day, so everyone's ready to get back.
Up next, let's talk more about the NFL maybe going international and the random question of the day right here on Cody and Gold.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
All right, so you know things about yourself, right? Your age, weight, income. Why wouldn't you know your testosterone level? A lot of this is just about As I've gotten older, you go to the doctor to make sure things are right, to make sure you know things are okay. If you've been suffering from problems like your workout hasn't been the same or your sex drive hasn't been the same, a lot of these things can be a sign of low testosterone. So why wouldn't you want to know that about yourself too? Low T Center is offering a free T-test so you can find that out at yourself at fixmylowt.com. You can schedule that appointment. And what I like about it is schedule things on your terms. Go in for an in-person visit. Get the free T-test, and then you can do telehealth if you prefer. You can do online appointments. You can use their convenient app. Those things are available to you, so you can do it on your time, on your schedule. Stop saying, and I've done this too, I don't have the time to go to the... No, you have time to go to the doctor and find out over at Low T Center what things haven't been feeling the same. Book your free T-test today over at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Man, I should not have tried to handle this car wreck stuff myself.
Why?
Insurance keeps calling. I gotta find a body shop, rental car, doctor's appointments. Now they're asking for a bunch of other things.
Dude, why are you trying to do this yourself?
Call the Car Crash Kings.
That's literally what they do. You worry about getting better. They deal with the insurance, the paperwork, the calls, all of it.
Hurt in a car wreck? Don't do it yourself. Call the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely from advertisements.
This is Dana Hughes. In Kansas City football, we honor tradition, but we always look forward to what's next. That's why I'm all in for Flight by Yuengling. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, but built for today. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, crisp, clean, and full of flavor, just the way a light beer should be. It's got the legacy and the stats to back it up. Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Dana Hughes. D.G. Yuengling and Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dana Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hi, I'm Michaela, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. You found your dream engagement ring. As a jewelry consultant, I recommend to start shopping for your wedding band 6 months before your big day. Don't worry. At Shane Company, we're here to help you find the perfect bands. Our men's and women's bands are crafted to high-quality standards, and it shows in every detail, with a stylish design and comfortable fit. At Shane Company, we'll take care of your engagement ring and wedding bands for life, because a friend wants you to say, I do, to your rings again and again. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I scream. You scream. We all scream. Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming, happy screaming, summer screaming, dollar small classic Frosty screaming! But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time, only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only, not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Brought to you by Duke's Real Mayo.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about good mayo, Duke's Mayo. It'll make any dish sing. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Cody and Gold back here in St. Joe at Mo West. Coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, you'll hear our conversation with Jake Brenton. Also, Russ Tucker joined us here on 96.5 The Fan. Cody's got a random question of the day here in about 8 minutes or so we will get to. You guys can always interact with us on the Jay Southland Tow Service text line, 913-586-7965. Our camp coverage is presented by Yingling Flight. Football season starts here. Reach for Yingling Flight, the next generation of light beer. Enjoy responsibly. You mentioned during What's Trending the international stuff. I want to talk more about that.
Yep.
Because Roger Goodell has been probably more than any commissioner all about the revenue, all about making the owners more money. And by the way, that's his job. So as much as people hate on Roger Goodell, his job is to make the owners more money. His job is also to take all the heat and take some of the pressure off of the owners. He's the bad guy in this whole thing. So let me be clear with that. However, I think there's a big difference between being upset as me as a fan if they add an extra week to a game or they screw up the schedule for a particular team, they play an extra international game. Those are all things I don't really like, but I get it. It's a whole different ball game to do what he says is pretty much inevitable at some point in the league, whether he's commissioner or not, whether it's 5 years from now or 25 years from now, and that is having a team based internationally, and likely teams based internationally. It's the National Football League, and now we're going to not only expand it globally by playing games there, we're going to have teams in Europe or whatever. I think it's a really dangerous slope to go down. We've always said this with the games. There's a limit where you push it too far and it turns fans off or it hurts the product. That, to me, would hurt the product far more than adding an 18th game. Adding a team in Europe, to me, hurts the product way more. Another 53-man roster?
So unless this growth of international football is going to come with a severe increase in the playing of youth football in other countries, you don't have the talent pool. So, better idea to spend the next 20 years the way U.S. has been trying to do for years and go set up a bunch of camps and leagues and places in Europe and Africa and Asia and wherever, South America, Central America, and convince these countries to get the youth of America to play football, or the youth of the world to play football, because right now you don't have the talent pool to support more teams. And here's the part that I'll never understand. Unless, and I know that they've continued to monitor supersonic jet travel, Are you really going to stick your players on an international trip 4 times a year? Think about the schedule. It's 18 games. So those two teams would have to, even if they played each other, they're in the same division or whatever, and they played each other twice. Okay, so that's 4 trips they don't have to travel internationally. 14 they do. So like
what a competitive disadvantage for those teams.
Well,
too.
and like all these other things. Are you going to set up housing for people to live internationally with their families? You're going to like the undertaking it would take to get teams to live in those countries and to get players to want to go there. And you're in a league that drafts, so you're just forcing like the number 1 overall pick to just like live in Germany now. It doesn't. And I honestly, I think probably both teams would be in London to start. If they did 2 teams, I think it'd be 2 London teams, like 2 New York or something else. I just can't imagine you would do that, though.
Can we start, though, with just, like, if we're going to do, I agree with you, Europe would be the likely destination, but can we just start with the team in Mexico City? Let's just ease it in, please. Like, not that I want that either, but comparatively, like, at least that one would solve a bit of the travel.
Canada.
Fine, yeah, have it. And I know they have the CFL up there, and I don't know.
Whatever, they'll take an NFL team.
I would hope so.
I don't care how close Toronto and Buffalo are. Lots of other teams are close.
100% with you, yeah, or Vancouver and Seattle or whatever.
They're different cities.
Mexico City. Can we start with that one first from a travel perspective and just see how that goes?
The problem is though,
before we add Europe,
if you're just adding 1 team though, it makes everything uneven.
I understand it'd have to be 2 to get to 34.
I think genuine.
Is it still uneven though at that point? Like the divisions are like if you're in a division that's.
No, it'd be one AFC, one NFC probably at that point. They'd only play each other once a year.
Yeah, but if you're in the team that's got 5 teams in the division, I would not want that. You can miss me with that.
Well,
I'd want to be in a team with 4 teams. So I think that's where it. I'm not saying it causes problems within the current team group, but if you're throwing them in to the the AFC North or the AFC South or something like or the NFC West or whatever, then I don't know if our NFL team's going to be on board with it as much as it is just trying to figure out what division to put them in or what team to add where.
So I understand that money's at play here. I understand why they might have to. It's a stupid idea. You have it perfect. Baseball has got a problem. They don't have balanced divisions either. You have right now 6 divisions. They all have 4 teams. There's some regionality to it. Not perfect. There's some regionality to it. So, like, you've got everything you could possibly want. Just stick more. Just get it to 18 games and guarantee that everybody has to play 2 international games a year and put it after the bye weeks and make your money that way. Please don't force teams into the international market. That part's just going to happen. That's fine. I'll accept that.
That part's happening in the next 2 to 4 years, I feel like. The international thing, Roger Goodell made it seem matter of fact. I still think, I told you 2035 at the earliest. I think we're still a long ways away from ever getting to a point where we have a true franchise base internationally. So this is not a problem for today. This is a decade or 2 away, I think. But I don't like this whatsoever. And owners may not like it, Drew. But, man, we know owners love money, and that's the tricky. I would like to think that some of the true owners that like the football side of things would absolutely not want this. But we know there's also, especially with new owners constantly coming into these leagues, that don't have the same ties to their, the founding days of the AFL and NFL and stuff like the Hunt family. I think you would have some owners that would just strictly, Cody, look purely at the bottom line, and that is it.
Somebody mentions this is an interesting point. I wonder, it's not going to do, obviously, college football changes, but if they do add, a random team somewhere, somebody mentioned they would have to get rid of divisions. At that point, you essentially become like the NBA, where they have divisions, but they don't have divisions. It's more conference-based.
But I love divisions in football. I'd hate it.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. I wonder if they add an international, but it doesn't matter where. It could be Mexico City. It could be Canada.
Top 7.
But yeah, if they do conferences that way, like if they add another team to make it more than 32, it could fundamentally change how we view the sport. And I don't know if that's from a division angle, if that's from a get in the playoffs. Certainly from a scheduling perspective, it's totally different. And I don't know exactly how that would work or what it would look like because in the NBA, everybody plays each other. In the NFL, obviously, not everybody does.
Yeah, I mean, we all know
what it would look like.
There's changes that have happened throughout the NFL over the last 25 years. Some we like, some we don't. We get used to, some we don't. This is one of those I don't think we would get used to. I get it. Some people never wanted the NFL to expand the postseason. Some people never wanted the NFL to add replay, right? Or didn't want them to do this or that, whatever it may be. This is completely different than suddenly having to play an extra international game. The expansion to the point where there are multiple teams internationally has so many ramifications down the road that I think fundamentally do change the league. And you're the NFL, not only would it be a greedy move, they've made other greedy moves, this one I think would have potential impact of hurting your product.
I just think, and this goes for any sports league, there is a real – the things they're not thinking about are two positions, offensive line and quarterback. And I do not think they understand how bad it already is in just the backup quarterback game. If you add 4 more teams, Kirk Cousins is a 30-year starter in this league at that point.
Look at the Browns this year.
No one's ever going to retire. I don't even know how it works. Garrett Nussmeier be starting for a team in Europe.
Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders are battling for the quarterback job in Cleveland. You had an extra team, I guess Deshaun Watson would just automatically be a starter over in London
you would take away the good backup thing.
It's already bleak.
Tyrod Taylor would never be a backup. He'd be a starter. Justin Fields would still be a starter. Mac Jones 100% would be a starter, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I don't think that people realize, and those are some of the better backups
Gardner
in the
Minshew
NFL.
would be a starter, yeah.
Those are some of the better backups in the NFL. Do you know how many bad backups there are in the NFL? Like just downright stink. Jake Browning got on the football field for 5 seconds last year, and it was the Hindenburg. It doesn't, it's bleak. The Chiefs have had to go to the backup quarterback a couple times. Sometimes it's worked out for a drive. Yeah, other times it's bad.
Yeah, again, if they were to go the international team route, I would only want them to just try like Mexico City and that's in one other team. And I know we talk about the divisional imbalance. That to me is way easier to overcome than the travel aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because Major League Baseball has unbalanced division. The NFL used to. The Chiefs had a division back in the day that was not balanced.
I would hate that. That would be terrible.
I wouldn't like it, but that's easy to overcome though. Like if you tell me that fast forward 10 years from now and they're testing the international markets and they go Mexico City and one other country and it means some division has 5 teams instead of 4 or whatever, I can live with that. I don't like it versus all of a sudden it's 2035 or 2040 and we've got a team in Germany and a team also in the UK, a team in Spain. Like that's just a mess. It's NFL Europe, but actual NFL.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. Little injury updates throughout the league. Matt Verderam came on the show last week, says that he's hearing Joshua Simmons is fine. So we'll keep a note on that. He quote, it's fine. So he's hearing that from somebody out there. And the medical cart was out for the Chargers center, Tyler Biadasz, who went down in a left knee injury.
Oh, Biadasz?
Biadasz. I couldn't remember how you pronounce it. And he couldn't put any weight on the leg.
Ooh,
he went out on the back.
The Chargers.
Every year. They already don't like their guards. They're going to lose their starting center.
Who was it with, Drew?
49ers.
Niners. Oh, of course it was.
It was in L.A., though, I think.
The substation. Okay. Does it radiate off their body?
Okay.
Otherwise.
All right. I think it was in L.A. Otherwise, yes, that would be a part of the story once again.
Well, that sucks for them,
the electrical
I would say.
Substation.
That's the thing, knock on wood, we got a couple more days of camp here, so I don't want to jinx anything. But, it's one thing when somebody, is walking down the hill and has a back problem. It's another thing when you're getting players carted off with serious knee injuries.
Can't put any weight on it, yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole different ball game. The Chargers' offensive line was so banged up last year and doesn't sound good already for their center. Boy, oh boy. This is also why I just don't buy into the Chargers stuff that people are getting internationally with them. There's always something with that franchise.
How long? I know you guys said it would be a long time, but obviously I think within the next decade, I think you guys agree that there will be a Super Bowl in London or somewhere else like that.
Unfortunately, yes.
But what are we even talking? Like when Roger Goodell says, "I have no doubt there will be NFL teams outside the U.S." It sounds like that's something he wants to do before he's done being commissioner.
I just think he knows where it's headed, right? I don't know if that's again 5 or 10 years or just 25 years from now. I just think we all know where it's heading. I think we'd all be pretty naive to think that that's not something they're going to try to do in the future.
I guess I don't know. It's so weird. No other. Maybe it's the American way. No other league. Like the Premier League's not like let's add a team in the U.S. We'll have a Premier League team, but they'll be in New York City. We don't do that here. They don't like no other country's like let's get a La Liga team, but we'll put them in Seattle.
Yeah, they force them. Yeah, I think that's fair.
But the NFL, we're like, no, you will have a team in Europe.
I'm with you. I guess the exact correlation, though, would be like, of course, EPL and La Liga are the same sport, But I mean, like they're the same sport, but just in different countries. I guess the equivalent would be if somebody started a new football league just in Europe that wasn't from
we
the
had
NFL.
that once. It was called the NFL Europe.
No,
but
I'm saying is like
right.
the equivalent to that would be if somebody else, some rich group of owners in Europe said, you know what, we don't need the NFL. We're starting our own league.
Honestly,
here.
that
would be the La Liga EPL comparison. But I get it.
Like in a weird way, that would do so much better than any of these AFL, UFL, whatever's in the U.S. If Europe's just like, hey, we want to start a football league and we're going to take all the college guys you used to like, it'll be a secondary league, but it's our league. The way the lesser soccer leagues exist in there.
Because of the roster size and stuff, you just can't. There's no real. It's hard to make the comp.
Yeah.
Because the talent size and just the global reach of the sport. We all know soccer is the most popular.
I mean, even Cody, to your point, Cody.
It's interesting.
Premier League games are not in America. We're already doing that. Forget the franchise.
I'll only
we
lose
are
if they
already
put a Super
forcing
Bowl
our.
in our country.
The NFL is forcing itself onto European soil. Essentially, yeah, we're going to have our games there and everything like that. The Premier League is not saying, "Hey, MetLife, you guys are going to have to make space for
Man City
Chelsea and
versus
Arsenal,
Everton." This Sunday morning.
Because their fans would show up to buildings and make it a problem.
No, I think their fans would actually. I don't think I think they've talked about this. European fans hate the concept of going overseas for anything. Period. Point blank. It's our team. Keep it over here. I think that the NFL. We've talked about this a little bit. Quite frankly, I don't think the NFL really they care about the fans, but I don't think they really care about their fans. They're going to do whatever they want to do because they're the National Football League.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Someone says, I don't know why you guys are laughing at the idea of somebody starting a new league. That's what Lamar Hunt did. I think we can see the clear differences. We're talking about starting in another country that already doesn't have the same love and care for football as we do. Lamar Hunt had the AFL in the United States to compete, yes, with an existing league, but it was still in the United States. It was still in a country that loved football.
It's also Europe, like the last time it worked.
In Europe, plenty of people like American football, but we all know it's not even close to their love of soccer. I disagree with the comp. I don't think it's the same thing.
The most recent attempt at it was Live, and it failed. Let's get to it, though, Drew. Let's do a random question.
Random question.
For you, Gold, you, Drew, text line 913-586-7965. And, of course, over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, where we live stream the show every single day. Even when we're gone, Alex's broken figurine is over there. Interact with you guys in the chats as well. We'll make this one quick today. I have a personal question, which sometimes we do on the random question. Hey, it's my
Here we go. Drew, you ready for this?
It's my random question, and I'm allowed to ask it. You know? My question is today, I'll give you the question first, and then I'll explain the circumstances. Should I be worried? Alex, I have received an email from the department chair at UMKC in charge of my department requesting a meeting with me on Thursday
to
go over some of the class structure stuff. Maybe in future semesters? Maybe not. I don't know.
Complaints.
Should I be worried that I, a lowly adjunct professor who teaches 1 to 2 classes a semester, is being asked to meet with the department chair, or is this nothing?
I think there's some things that she's going to ask you to change. Yeah, I think she's not
never
happy.
sat in on my class.
Performance review.
This is not. They should not call it performance review. It was about maybe structure stuff as it relates to I try to teach 2 classes a semester, but there was enough enrollment for 1. So maybe they're trying to figure out a way to get enough enrollment for 2. Maybe they want me to teach at a different time or not teach at all. I don't know. It was vague.
Have you been following protocols? Is it maybe she's maybe she's meeting with you because she said I've heard your syllabus is 30 freaking pages long, which is way too long.
You think that she's got no way she can pay attention to every syllabus in the class? That's crazy. Drew, you think I got anything to worry about?
This early in the year, I don't.
This early in the year, would it be better in the middle of the year?
I'd almost rather it be before the year.
It will be before the year because it's on Thursday. My class doesn't start till next Tuesday.
You know what? Actually, I don't think I would be that worried then. It might just be not necessarily. It could be a review though of what you have done, or maybe it's not a warning. I don't think it's a warning going into the year. I would have my I'd have my ears perked up a little bit.
Maybe they're asking
for
you to. Text line says maybe they're asking you to teach more classes in the future. Maybe they like what you're doing.
I don't know.
They have a full-time job. They're not going to make me teach 50 classes.
Cody, it could be.
They're going to say, "Here's a blank check, Cody. What's it going to take?"
Cody, it could be a
to
positive.
get you to walk away.
I could see a positive, but it also could be a, hey, this is something that was a concern with one of your students previously. This is going forward. I think it could be either or. I don't know.
I will point out one thing. If you're like, hey, Cody, how many times have you had a meeting with her before a semester at any other time? And the answer is 0.
How many years has this person been the dean or whatever?
She has been in charge. She's been the chair, or whatever they call it in academia. She's been in charge of the department in which I work the entire time I've been there.
So this might just be
I have met her, but I have not had a meeting with her in her office.
And this is your second
year
teaching?
You've never met with her in that setting.
Not in a one-on-one setting, no.
This is your second year teaching?
Third.
Okay, so I wonder if this is just maybe
Catch-up?
it could just be a catch-up. It could also be, though, that there was a concern or a complaint from a student. I don't know who that would be. I don't know.
Text line says the director's going to say they bought this random media trailer with an Argentina logo on it. They want you to set it up. Do your classes in that.
And then have it outside of there?
Someone says you're too strict, Cody. D's for everyone does not look good.
I have not given D's for everyone. I have given a D in my classroom before. You know?
I do wonder if this person would would they try to convince you to teach full time?
No, they're not going to ask me to leave. I think that they like that I actually work in the field. I assume that's part of the appeal of the adjunct.
Now, this top text could be true, although I doubt it. They said they're going to tell you to stop canceling so many classes before the class even starts.
Hold on.
Which
that
is
would
true.
Crazy.
Next week we fly to Vegas. Cody's canceling his first class of the year.
Second class of the year, thank you.
Okay.
We will have class on Tuesday.
It's canceled, though?
No, I mean, not unless they're listening to this show, they don't.
Okay.
I don't like to tell people ahead of time because then it makes them be like, maybe I'll skip that Tuesday too. You're like, no. I like to catch them off guard with the days that are off, like a pleasant surprise at the end. Sometimes that happens. Classes get canceled sometimes.
I think it's more of a catch-up thing because it's before the year starts more than anything else. You've never had a meeting with them before, so I would say it's been 2 years.
I've met her a couple. Maybe,
yeah, but you've never had a meeting like you said. I think it's more of a catch-up thing.
Not in her office. No.
Someone says maybe she wants you to sing the song from Van Halen, "Hot for a Teacher." Oh boy! All right.
An update on Friday.
Let us know. Up next, we'll get to the 1 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. We'll hear our conversation with Jake Brenton and also what we got a glimpse of yesterday on the baseball diamond from the Royals.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Baseball season is in full swing, and there's no better place than Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform. Maybe you're starting to look ahead to who might win it all. I like Chicago as one of the possibilities. You can trade them at a little over 6% right now is all, meaning a $100 trade would see you at a $1,444 return if they were to, of course, take home the trophy at season's end. You can do day-to-day, long-term, because on Kalshi you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there is no house. So as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position, depending on how those things change. Download the Kalshi app and use promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get $10 when you trade $10. K-A-L-S-H-I, Kalshi. Trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risks and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see Kalshi.com/regulatory.
Men, if your energy is down, your workouts aren't producing results, you're gaining stubborn weight, losing muscle, sleeping poorly, or just not feeling like yourself anymore, it may be more than just aging. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. Our low T and body composition treatments are designed to help men regain energy, improve focus, sleep better, build lean muscle, reduce unwanted fat, and restore confidence both in and out of the gym. At Heartland Men's Health, we specialize in helping men optimize their health, performance, and vitality. Using personalized medical treatments tailored to your health and goals, many men begin noticing improvements in energy, mental clarity, recovery, motivation, libido, and overall body composition within just a few weeks. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, PSA and T-test, and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
You've pictured it. The garage door that finally makes your home look the way you want it to. And now get $500 back on a qualifying garage door with the Overhead Door Home Refresh rebate. Qualifying purchase must be made by September 30th. Let Overhead Door Company of Kansas City upgrade your curb appeal and get you up to $500 back. Schedule a free estimate at overheaddoorkc.com. Overheaddoorkc.com. Select models. Rebate paid as a Visa prepaid gift card. Restrictions apply. See website for full terms.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil. One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to Metamucil.com for more details.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where 24-pack Crayola crayons are just 50 cents?
Staples has folders, notebooks, and pens at great prices.
I'm smiling from ear to ear.
It's the most wonderful time.
Mom, I missed the bus of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples, where school supplies start at just 25 cents. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit your local Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable scent boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
boss, 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 bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppables beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness so you can smell unstoppable.
Cody and Gold are live from the practice field at Chiefs training camp this summer on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
1 o'clock hour here in St. Joe. Cody and Gold broadcasting live. Coming up in about a half hour, we'll get to what's trending, and also you'll hear our conversation with Ross Tucker, our Odyssey NFL insider. He got a nice promotion last week, moving up at CBS to the number 2 crew for NFL on Sunday. He'll be with Iron Eagle this year. We asked him about that. Tried to get a little insight on the wedding he went to this summer. He's very close. I think
what wedding's that?
Family friends with the Swifts.
Pretty famous one.
Yeah,
yeah,
family
I
friends
guess so.
with the Swifts. So we asked about the wedding and, of course, some football talk, some Chiefs with him. You'll hear that coming up in 1:35 or so. And then here in about 8 minutes, we will let you hear our conversation with Jake Brenton, who is battling for one of the final roster spots, maybe the number 3, number 4 tight end spot. He joined us after practice, got to know him a little bit. But I want to talk some Royals baseball briefly, Cody. You mentioned last night the Royals lineup, and what it looked like was what it looked like to begin the year, but the order, of course, was not the order we all wanted back then. Now it is. It feels like when you look at it, we can go through it one by one in a second, but in general, when you look at the lineup the Royals put out there yesterday, not only does it look the way we all thought it should look, but also, other than what, 1 or 2 spots? Is that? I mean, isn't that the lineup for next year? It's more about the bullpen and the rotation, isn't it? I mean, you go look. Maybe you want to make an argument that Isaac Collins isn't your left fielder next year. I don't know. I think there's a chance he is.
I think there's a really good chance.
You know what I mean? You could go through. There's a few spots, maybe 1 or 2, maybe. Otherwise, unless they pull off a trade, which is possible, that involves one of those guys, I feel like the lineup last night very well could be the lineup on opening day, whenever opening day is, 2027.
Including Waka is the opening
Seriously,
day starter.
Yes. Go through it. So
yesterday's lineup was Carter Jensen leading off, Bobby Wood Jr. second, Cags hitting third, Michael Garcia hitting fourth, Vinny hitting fifth, Salvi hitting sixth, Massey, Collins, and Isbell, rounding out 7, 8, and 9. I am not kidding. I legitimately think that is your opening day lineup in 2027. And, like, in a weird way, it was actually, and I hope the rest of this season, it's not going to tell us everything. We don't have to, we can count these runs as less. We can do whatever we want to do to parse out the fact that you are right. They're not playing with any kind of pressure the rest of the way and won't be playing with any kind of pressure the rest of the way other than the guys who might be trying to hold on to their job. So I'd value it more for guys like Massey, Collins, Isbell, whatever. Outside of that, there's a pretty good chance that that's the order, that this is the lineup. Like, other than if they make a trade and trade away Garcia or Vinny or shift off Isaac Collins and try to do somebody else, I'll tell you right now, the top 4 is absolutely the starting lineup. I still think I'd be surprised if Vinny got moved. Not shocked, but I don't
He's the name to watch, though.
Yeah.
Right? He's the name to watch.
Yes. I know Salvi's not going anywhere. And look, now that Caglione and Carter Jensen have become qualified hitters, Salvi's hitting where we want him to anyway. 6th. That's fine. I prefer it 7th, but 6th, I'll live my life. That's more in line with what we need out of a guy like Salvador Perez.
No, the lineup is pretty much what it's going to be. The number one question we all know is how do they completely revamp the bullpen?
Yeah, and how do they sure up the starting
and still the questions that I think are fair about the rotation. We talked about Noah Cameron yesterday, and obviously he's pitching great, but there are still questions about the rotation. Not only who the 4th and 5th starter possibly are, but as great as Michael Walker has been this year, I still have questions about him being a year older, and is he able to replicate this at all? Or Seth Lugo, can he at least maintain where he's at, or do we see him slip? Because there is a real possibility that Walker and Lugo are worse next year. So then what?
Then they have a problem. Then they're not going to make the playoffs. Then what? Ooh. They stink, right? And like they are counting on those guys being good and fixing it through other ways. And so that'd do it. But, like, the offense, and Gold, I don't want to get into the argument because, like, I understand what they do for the next month and a half before the season ends is not as important as when they screwed up. But they haven't had this lineup in this order, and they haven't had this lineup in total in 2 damn months. So for the next 6 weeks, if they look like a qualified offense with all these guys, I will think that means at least, okay, I can feel somewhat secure that the offense is going to be average next season versus bottom 10 where they've landed so far this year when they've missed massive time from Vinny, Garcia. They missed time from Bobby for the first time in a really long time. Yeah. Basically everybody who weren't Carter Jensen and Jack Caglione.
Yeah, no, and I hear you. Those are pieces that the rest of the season we're going to all continue to see what Cags can do to make you feel even better about his future in about 2027. Again, my whole thing has always been we have seen time and time again, this is beyond this current iteration of the Royals, just multiple times in our lifetime, where in August and September, when there is zero pressure, they play some of their best baseball. And it's very difficult for me to buy in and care as much about that. Now, individual players, I care to see if Cags can get over 30 home runs
or if Massey
or whatever,
continue,
right?
Yeah,
but in general, I don't. Especially if the team starts, let's say, winning some games down there. I don't care how the team finished. Oh wow, they won 8 of their last 12 to finish the season. Who gives a bleep? Like, that doesn't matter. There's no pressure. It's September. It's football season. Nobody's caring about the team that is 30 games under 500 or whatever. That's the stuff that I get irritated with because on paper, you're right, Cody. On paper, this lineup should be good. It should be.
I hate it because I looked at the lineup last night. I'm like, that's a good lineup.
It should be, but early in the year, they were either banged up after it was already bad, or guys like Vinny and Salvi and even Bobby this year got off to terrible. Bobby was a slow start. Yeah. Terrible start from Salvi.
Yes.
Garcia was not anywhere near the same player. Tags wasn't in the lineup, but even when he was, let's be honest, if we're being fair about the situation, he wasn't playing anywhere near this level. So they had a lot of guys that out of the gate, and I told you the part that irritated me the most as a fan as stuff is falling down behind us, was the WBC energy and passion and performance, and then when it really mattered, the sport that's actually paying you the damn money, they all stunk.
Yeah, correct. And it stunk. And look, they should have, in retrospect, they certainly should have gotten to this lineup sooner. But no offense, this goes back to the I told you so's when you don't know, or you were just guessing. No smart baseball organization, in my opinion, would have started with Carter Jensen hitting leadoff, Cags hitting third. Carter Jensen had played 30 big league games, and Jack Caglione had played 70 badly. So if that was going to be your 1 and 3 hitters, what was the logic? Now, after a month of the season, when Father Time had kneecapped Salvador Perez and Vinny couldn't hit and the offense was bad and they were struggling, if you'd wanted to make a switch then, they should have gotten to this version of the lineup probably sooner. Okay? They should have probably gotten to sooner. Not to start the season, though. Because if you're telling me from the beginning of the season this is what you thought the lineup should look like, well, then you're just like a crazy person who got lucky. You hit one. You probably also thought that, other guys should have been starting over other guys a number of other years that probably wouldn't have worked out. You probably thought, Christian Colon was the goods and should have been starting over other guys. It doesn't matter. The point is that was never going to be the logic. How their offense perform, I will watch at the end. If they get this lineup for the rest 6 weeks, I am curious to see how their offense performs the next 6 weeks. That doesn't mean nightly tune in. That doesn't mean it's gospel either. But if they are a league average or better offense for the next 6 weeks, which they need to be better, by the way, if they are a top 10 offense for the next 6 weeks, it will give me a small amount of hope that if that's where the lineup starts next year, that this configuration in this order can produce some. It doesn't solve their bullpen. It doesn't solve their starting pitching.
They got a lot
it doesn't
of
mean
work to
playoff
do.
team. They got a lot of things to fix, right?
Yeah.
JJ Piccolo, unfortunately, couldn't join us this week. He'll be back with us next week
on
Tuesday. But, they got a lot of work to do, and I think they probably know that. I don't think it's a secret.
Royals continue their series against the A's tonight. 6:40 first pitch right here on 96.5 The Fan. Vern's on deck show at 5:30. We'll be out there tonight. I know you've got another obligation, but Drew, are you going out there tonight? Our station, our company's got not just our station, our company's got
I am not. I also am busy tonight.
Nobody else is going to be there.
Mac will be out there. Bob will be out there.
Okay.
Apparently
nobody else is going.
Apparently there will be 40 people.
Oh, okay. All right.
There will be 40 Odyssey employees. I think there's plus ones up to 70 people. I think is what. I was
wow.
told.
We're in a different spot. Actually, we're in a
here.
different vantage point. We're out in the Hall of Fame suite area tonight.
Nice.
We stepped our game up this year.
What do you got going on, Drew? I just
here we go.
Because he said, I'm busy.
What do you have going on?
Yeah,
I have. So, in fairness, I can't say.
Why can't you go to a company?
Hold on, wait. I can't say mine or it'll ruin a surprise.
Oh, okay, fair. Okay, that's fair.
So I can tell you later.
By the way, that's a hell of a cop-out, but that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
It would, and it's the truth. Is the God on it?
It's a surprise.
If I told you, it could potentially ruin a surprise.
Okay, all right.
So I choose not to do that.
Okay, fair. Again, that's a great answer.
It is a great answer.
Drew, do you also have a surprise?
If I told you, it would ruin the surprise.
Drew,
I'm going to put the fifth.
I don't think Drew's really got
I think it's Papa Shot night for Drew at Dave & Buster's.
No, that's tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, come on. He's got to get to Wednesday's his normal night. We've known that. That's been a stat.
Wednesdays and Sundays, the half price.
How are you going to – okay. Would you miss Papa Shot night if somehow you ended up with a pair of tickets to J. Cole tomorrow night? I would hope the answer is yes.
Yeah, if I got tickets.
Okay. Good
then
to know.
I'd find my way there.
Okay. All right. If anybody's out there listening that has tickets
and
tomorrow
just doesn't
night,
want to go and like
J.
Drew,
Cole
has
an extra ticket for Drew.
Fall-off tour, yeah.
Drew wants to go. And I know for many, many years he's told us about
I do like J. Cole a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
He's your favorite artist, is he not?
No, he's not my favorite artist. He's one of my favorite artists, but he's not my favorite.
Who's your favorite?
Logic.
Oh, Logic, okay. Is he coming to town?
He'll be in town with G-Eazy in September, I think.
You better go.
Next month.
Are you going to that one?
I've seen him in concert 3 times, so probably not.
Oh, okay.
But it's your favorite artist. There's not too many times in concert for that one.
Yeah,
it's in Morton too, a venue you've never seen.
Morton's great.
That is true.
Awesome venue.
I've already
if you haven't been to Morton.
I've already done the meet and greet and all that other stuff. So I mean, it would. Yeah.
Oh wow, you did the meet and greet and everything.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I've done the meet and greet and everything. He's a very nice person. Yes.
Yeah. Morton Amphitheater. If anybody
that would
listen,
be the reason I would go probably.
Yeah,
to get that experience.
They did a phenomenal job with the venue. Seriously, it's awesome.
Yet,
it's so
I've got
nice.
Tickets later in the year.
The acoustics are top notch.
There's one in Indy where it looks like it's built very similar to
I'm sure there's some that are similar. Yeah. It's just very well done, and it's
who's J. Cole? Come on, man, you got to go coach yourself a little bit. You know who J. Cole is? All right.
He's pretty well known.
I
bet you they've heard. It's one of I'm bad with artist names too.
Artist,
I bet you they've heard a J. Cole song. They just may not know it.
I have learned, and I think Cody, you even told me this. There are not everybody knows like even like sports people, like you could walk around and find somebody who this person, and they're like, who is that? And it's like, what?
I wish I was kidding today. Someone asked, so she was asking about Nick Bolton, a woman who works here for Missouri Western. She was asking, she said, what? She said, number 35, what position, or not 35?
32.
32. What position does he play? And I said, he plays linebacker. And she said, is that on offense or defense?
Not everybody knows, man. We get our
People know different stuff.
We get in our sports bubble. We assume everybody knows this or that.
Yeah, really.
Everybody has blind spots. I said, that's a defensive player.
Yeah.
And she's like, where does he play on defense? I said, not on the line. And she didn't know what that meant. So eventually I just he plays like in the middle.
Someone said they doubt J. Cole's as good as Pat McAfee, right, Cody?
That's true.
Oh, my God. Are you
That's
nuts?
true, you know.
I will say, putting them in the same sentence is very disrespectful. Like J. Cole.
It was a little rough of ESPN today. The guy who founded ESPN.
Yeah, he passed away.
He unfortunately passed away.
Rasmussen.
And so, obviously you started this really big cultural thing that's going to last and see the test of time for a long time. They were at the end of their 10 o'clock segment doing honoring him with a clip show showing him. It got cut short and Pat McAfee show started.
No, it didn't.
Yes.
No, it didn't.
Yes.
The founder of ESPN's, in memorial or whatever they call it.
His in memoriam got cut short and the McAfee show started over the top.
No. Oh, jeez. Hey, he runs things over there now. Boy, does he ever. Boy, does he ever. All right, earlier today here at practice, we were joined by Chiefs tight end Jake Brenton, an important couple weeks ahead for him as he is trying to make this roster. Maybe he has a chance to make it as tight end 3 or 4. We did start our conversation with Jake asking him, how does he feel camp has gone to this point?
Yeah, I mean, last year I really didn't get, much opportunity to be able to, showcase what I could do when the pads came on. So unfortunately I got hurt early on in camp last year. So just being able to come out this year, be able to show the type of player that I am, the physicality that I can bring to the field. But also, I think it's just been great being around the guys, being around the tight ends, being able to learn as much as I can. Out here at St. Joe, it's really only us out here. So it's been great to be able to, build team chemistry, hang out with the guys, eat at the cafe, and everything like that. So I think it's been a really good training camp.
We know Andy doesn't like a joint practice. Would you like one? Would you like going up against another team just to change it up a little?
Whatever Coach Reed wants, I'm good. I'm good with. So, whatever his plan is, it obviously works. So, I'm here to just, give my best effort and do whatever I'm asked of.
You mentioned the cafeteria. I'm curious though, who's I guess in the tight end room though, who's the biggest eater right now?
I think everybody, just trying to keep the weight on. We're out here for, 3-hour practices. So just being able to go in there and, eat good food that they make for us. So, it's been good.
How does this camp life compare to when you were at Clemson? I mean, I don't know if you were living in a dorm after your freshman year, but does this remind you of college a little bit at all? Or no? I mean, Clemson's a big-time school. So.
Yeah, no, it doesn't really remind me much of Clemson, but, it is the college life, the college feel, just being – tight with the guys, being around each other all day long. So, it's been really good just to be able to, like I said, build that team chemistry and just, keep working hard together and just going through the fire together.
I think first time in the Dabo era, they're not ranked in the top 25.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So what are you? I guess you saw that already.
Yeah. No, they're gonna have a great year. Obviously last year they had some struggles, but Coach Sweeney does a great job with his program, so he's gonna turn it around, and I'm excited to watch some boys go play.
What is it like to be coached by Dabo? Look, I'll be honest. If I were being honest with the audience, I've been critical saying I think Dabo's lost it a little bit.
Oh, no.
What is it like being coached by Dabo?
Yeah, Coach Sweeney's one of the greatest coaches of all time. So, I think just being able to, for my journey, be coached by him in college and now be able to be coached by Coach Reed and now in the NFL, I think it's just I've been blessed. I've been around, guys that win, guys that know what it takes to win, and the coaches that have instilled that in me. And I've just been able to, use that in my daily life, whether it's, winning a rep on the football field or it's, winning off the field. So I think it's just been, the characteristics that they've instilled in me, I'm very thankful for, and it's been great.
Other than football, what do you, for our audience trying to get to know you a little bit, what are you into off the field? Is there a hobby or two?
My favorite, I would say my favorite hobby, I like to play video games. I've been playing a lot of PGA recently, so that's probably my favorite video game right now. But, yeah, other than that, just playing ball, hanging out with the guys, and then I'll be on the game here and there.
What game do you think you're the best at? Like if there was a video game contest upstairs, what can you win other than PGA?
I think I'm pretty nice at UFC.
Okay.
Yeah, I like playing the UFC games, so, I know a little bit of the combos and stuff on there, so I have a good time playing that.
You'd mentioned Clemson a little bit. And doing some research, I think every single member of your family went to Michigan State.
They did.
Is there a reason why you bucked the trend?
That was something that I thought a lot about during my recruiting process. My parents just allowed me to be able to make a decision for myself, and they were going through some coaching changes when I was getting recruited. So I just felt like everything Coach Sweeney was preaching, everything that stood out to me about Clemson, just really set them apart in my eyes. So I think I just had to make the best decision for myself. But it's definitely go green for me.
When you go back home, is everybody still in just Spartan gear?
Oh yeah, for sure. I was growing up a Michigan State fan. Everybody in my entire family went there. My sister goes there now. So we're always watching Michigan State games. Always got the scores in the background and stuff like that. So I'm always still in tune to them. But I'm still a Clemson alum.
I was going to say, when it comes to basketball, though, do you kind of...
Oh, Michigan State basketball for sure.
That's what I thought.
You're an Israel guy.
Yeah, for sure.
We got Jake Brenton joining us here on 96.5 The Fan. All right, Drew, back at our producer in the studio. If you have it ready, Drew, let us know. We have so my co-host Cody did a QB cadence. We gave him a hard time. He did a QB cadence.
I'm getting some tips so I can improve it.
And he did this a while back. Mansour Delane already critiqued it. Nick Bolton critiqued it yesterday. We're going to play this. Give a critique, be honest, of his QB cadence.
What's the snap count?
I
Are we going on 5?
Yeah, sure.
All right, yeah. No, I think it's pretty good. I think you could do a little more volume with it to try and draw the guys off sides, but I think it sounded good.
Someone said I got to slow it down. Is
it
too fast?
Yeah, a little fast.
Okay.
Give them an opportunity to jump off sides and then go into the next one.
I will say it's noticeable. Now, you've had a chance to work with all the quarterbacks out here, but from even where we're sitting, which is a decent ways from the field, Patrick, you can hear from a mile away. 100%. I feel like he's the loudest guy on the field. Is that accurate? I mean,
yeah, 100%. He's a dude that his confidence wears off on everybody else when he takes the field. So just being able to take the field with him has been awesome. But also just playing next to a guy of that skill set and that caliber has been great. Obviously with his cadence, he uses every single aspect of his game. He focuses on and uses it to his advantage. So even if that's his cadence, he really makes a difference with that and uses it to our offense's advantage.
It's like a lot of this comes from the stuff, but I know that they have a different set of rules for Travis. In learning from Travis, there are things that Travis can teach you can do, right?
100%.
And things Travis is allowed to do that you guys aren't. Is that fair to put it?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Kels has been playing this game at a high level for a very long time, so he's definitely earned that. But I think for me, just being able to come in and see what he does and then see also what the playbook says and try and find a happy medium in between that, but also just going out there and playing ball. That's what he tells me all the time. Just play ball, just have a feel for the game, and just make the decisions and just play fast. And you really can't go wrong if you're playing fast.
From your point of view, playing tight end, so much talk about camp has been about some of the wide receivers you guys got there as well. What do you see in somebody like Cyrus Allen so far? He made this crazy one-handed catch yesterday, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think our entire pass catching repertoire is very talented. But even you mentioned Cyrus. I think he's had a great training camp. Just being able to see him come in here, hone in on the playbook, be able to know what he's doing, be able to go out there and play fast, and make very impressive plays. So it's been great to watch him. I'm really excited for him, and it's been awesome.
Before we open up some sports cards here, how big of a day is Saturday for you? I know you don't want to build it up too much, but it's obviously a really important game in preseason for you on this roster.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just another day to be able to go out there and go to work. Our whole team has been, working hard together this training camp, and I think it's just another opportunity for us to go out there and showcase the work that we've been putting in.
All right, before we let you go, so we got Jake Brenton joining us. Our friends over at the Art of Sports gave us some football cards.
Okay, nice.
Try to see. Have you ever opened some packs before?
I've opened a couple packs
before.
All
right, so we'll let you do that. Our best cards so far at camp, who was it that pulled it? Nick Gormihio pulled a Jaden Daniels auto out of 25. So that's
nice.
our strongest
pretty
card.
Good.
We have barely got any Chiefs players so far, honestly. So let's see if we can get a little color or
At the very
number.
least, we can get a Chiefs player.
All right.
So a little bit of color.
Hawkinson, another tight end.
Okay.
Not bad.
You like his game?
So
yeah, he's a solid player. I saw him at tight end.
Hawkinson.
He can golf pretty well, too.
Really?
Yeah, he's a good golfer.
Pat Surtain, Jerome Ford, Garrett Wilson. All right.
You golf at all, you said?
I golf a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm better at the video game golf in real life.
Any color in there? All base cards?
Yeah, pretty weak pack, I would say.
That's all right.
Tough start.
Hey, best for last, right?
Marion Hampton, let's see, Braylon Allen, Chris Godwin. All right, let's see. I'm a little worried that once we got that Jaden Daniels auto, we're getting skunked.
We peaked out?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, yeah. That was the worst pack of the bunch, actually.
That's all right.
We appreciate you trying anyway.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
All right, that was Jake Brenton with us earlier today. Good to get to know him. Appreciate the time. And really, like, in all seriousness, this is I think, a pretty damn big game for him.
He needs to play pretty well the next
Saturday.
week.
You know, if he wants to make the roster. We're legitimately talking about whether or not. I think he's probably going to make it as tight end 4, tight end 3, but it's definitely up in the air.
Is he actually like as big as 6'6" would?
Yeah, he's a tall person.
He's a big dude.
He's a big human being for sure. Yeah, absolutely. He was signing some autographs. So afterwards, so he sat down with us or whatever, and I'm kind of locked in reading the read, so I didn't get a chance to like see how tall he was. He left the table and he's over there taking photos with fans, and he's I don't know what they list him at, but he's every bit of whatever it is. I mean,
6'6", I believe. Yeah,
every bit of it, I would say. So Jake Brenton, kind enough to join us here at camp, our training camp coverage, presented by Break Time. Whether fueling up or grabbing a snack on the way to training camp, Break Time reminds you not all convenience stores are the same. Download their app in final location near you. Up next, we'll get you updated on some of the injuries during What's Trending. Plus, Ross Tucker, our Odyssey NFL insider, joined us, gave us some insight on the wedding that he went to this summer and also what he makes of the Chiefs in the AFC West.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Red Eddie on Football season is just around the corner, and just like your favorite team, you've got to fuel up to perform. At Break Time, we've got your training camp essentials, ice-cold drinks, protein-packed snacks, and all your game day favorites. Whether you're hitting the field or cheering from the sidelines, teamwork starts with the right fuel.
Let's go! One team, one goal!
Swing by Break Time, your home team for snacks, drinks, and everything in between. Download our mobile app and find a location near you. We're proud to be Missouri made.
Kansas City storms can leave behind roof damage you can't always see. Hail and high winds may have compromised your roof, even if everything looks fine from the ground. That's why Century Roofing offers a free roof inspection and handles the insurance process from start to finish. For over 36 years and more than 36,000 roofs installed, homeowners have trusted Century Roofing. Voted best roofing company in Johnson County for 5 years straight and best in Kansas City 2 years in a row. KC-based and female-owned. Visit CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
Whether I'm setting up the ultimate tailgate or hosting a watch party, game day is all about the Chiefs and keeping it stress-free. That's why I go to Hy-Vee. They make planning a breeze with everything you need in one convenient stop. We're talking about tailgate trays packed with sliders, wings, charcuterie, sushi, appetizers, and those iconic Chiefs-themed cookies. Plus, a massive wine and spirits department to top off your beverage order. Let Hy-Vee handle the work. Just order online for pickup or delivery. It's a total game changer, only at Hy-Vee.
Back to school savings start now at Hy-Vee's 3-day sale. Stock up and save big this Friday through Sunday with hot deals in every department. Meat, produce, bread, cereal, and snacks. Want an easier way to shop? Order on the Hy-Vee app or at Hy-Vee.com. Choose pickup or delivery and we'll do the shopping for you. Save time, save money. Shop your way during the back-to-school sale this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Spies KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexspieskc.com.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEBNOW1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
When it's time for a new water heater, trust the team that's been serving Kansas City for 75 years. For a limited time, buy a water heater and get a water filter 50% off. Schedule today at AnthonyPHCE.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number one on What's Trending, we continue broadcasting live here in St. Joe. Do want to pass along some injury news from practice today. On the positive end, Drew Tranquill was back in pads after missing the last week or two. He wasn't a full go. He didn't do everything, but the fact he was in pads was a good sign. We also saw Shamari Connor return to practice. On the downside, the negative side, unfortunately, Josh Simmons did not practice, dealing with a back injury, one to watch the rest of this week. Tyquan Thornton dealing with a strained hamstring. He left on a cart, in the front of a cart during practice today, although Matt Verderam has since reported that he is hearing that Josh Simmons' back injury is expected to be fine.
So let's hope that's the case. But, yeah, that's at least a decent update. Next up on What's Trending, the Royals' proposed stadium agreement, which we'll talk more about tomorrow, includes $55 million minimum and community commitment. The more important thing probably was timeline related, at least at this moment. The numbers were mostly known, saying that they are hoping for a 2030 opening, not 2031, which would be a year before their lease ends up there in the Truman Sports Complex. The deal agreement, if approved later this afternoon, which it will be by the City Council, would end up in a, by the latest, it has to be open by 2031 over the target date of 2030. There was a gentleman who had asked a question earlier, a concerned citizen who did get dragged out of the meeting, so I got a little contentious there at the end.
A little heated. Elsewhere in the NFL today, during one practice against the 49ers, the Chargers had a center that went down, Tyler Biadasz, their linebacker Kyle Kennard, and wide receiver Quentin Johnson all got hurt in a practice today.
Just being near the 49ers, now the substation's emanating off of them. Next up on What's Trending, Sporting Kansas City has acquired 24-year-old forward Andre Luis in the single biggest transfer fee the club has ever paid. The estimate somewhere between 18 and 22 million, depending on what it would be in an upfront fee. He's signed up through 2030-31, but it is the single biggest transfer deal Sporting Kansas City's ever done. So big deal for them. Hopefully he's good. Their last huge transfer deal didn't exactly work out.
Polito.
Yeah.
That is what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Earlier today, Ross Tucker, our Odyssey NFL insider, stopped by. We was on the Golden Oak Lending phone line. We started our conversation asking him about his big news in the last week. He got promoted by CBS, going to be part of that number 2 crew with Ian Eagle.
Yeah, well, obviously, great to talk with you guys always. Thank you so much for having me back on. And, yeah, very, very excited to work with Ian. I know you guys have heard us. We've done a bunch of games together on the radio, a lot of Thursday night games, a bunch of playoff games. So it's really cool as a broadcaster to get the opportunity to work with someone that you already have a really good rapport and chemistry with, and you think is, I think he's one of the best to ever do it. And love working with him, have a pretty good feel for how it sounds, what it feels like, and I'm excited for more people to get a chance to experience that.
Does he have any eccentric habits? Does he have anything that's like, oh, this is the one thing Ian does in order to get ready for a broadcast?
Oh, that's a good question. No.
Just a totally normal dude.
I can't think of any. I do think, no, I haven't been around. It's funny. Radio, you kind of get there for the game, and then after the game, you go back. TV is more like a 2 or 3 day process. So I'll be able to get to know him better in that regard, for however many games we do together this season. But I hear he's got some interesting eating habits, eating preferences. So I'm looking forward to learning more about that, although, I do too. So, and mine are more volume-based. I eat a lot. So that should be fun.
We've had dinner with you, so, we at least got the most of our wings when you were in town.
That's exactly right. I don't think I went overboard that night. It's always like, that balance of, I'm a recovering offensive lineman, so I'm trying not to overdo it, but when I get one night or one real meal in Kansas City or a place like that at a barbecue joint, like that is hard.
We understand, though, I know you probably can't say much, but you were at a pretty popular wedding this summer there at Madison Square Garden. As much as you could, how was that? You were there, right, with your wife at the Swift wedding?
Yes. Yeah, we were there. It was incredible, truly magical in every way. Needless to say, once-in-a-lifetime experience that, easily one of the best nights of my life. And I feel like I have a pretty good feel for both families, and I'm just thrilled for them. 2 awesome families, and really, really happy for Travis and Taylor. And, it was so cool to be a part of it in every way. It was absolutely it was like a movie. It was amazing.
I was going to say, who was the most famous person other than Taylor Swift? Who was the most famous person, could you say, that was there?
Well, I don't remember everyone that it's like public that they were there or not. Okay. So I'm very hesitant to give out any details about anything
I think I saw you mention, maybe I saw on your Twitter or something that Tom Cruise was there. Is that right? That part I think was public, though.
Yes, it's definitely public that Tom Cruise is there. And honestly, it was a couple months ago now, so I don't remember everyone else that is public they were there or not. But yes, Tom Cruise, I know that's out there, and we had a funny interaction that I did share with the Dan Patrick guys, so you can check that out on social media if you want to. But yeah, it was just it was super, super cool. It was like any other wedding that you would go to in terms of like an incredible band and you're dancing. It's just, you look around and the people you're dancing next to or with, it's not your Uncle Joe anymore.
Ross, let's talk a little bit about the Chiefs. We're up here at Chiefs training camp. We only have 1 day left here. They only have, 2 days left, I guess, including today. They're done on Thursday. We think the national media is a little low on the Chiefs while not pretending like they deserve to be ranked as one of the best teams in the AFC. Where are you, I guess, just in the general sense of where you think the Chiefs should be amongst the AFC elite?
You know, it's a terrific question, and I could make a really compelling argument in multiple directions. So the argument in their favor is obviously just their incredible track record during the Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid era, and especially in recent years. You know, over the last 5-6 years, they've just been so consistently good, and I think they deserve the benefit of the doubt for what happened last year. And if I'm going to, if I were a betting man, so to speak, I'm betting on Andy Reid, betting on Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, those guys. I think the other side, and Steve Spagnuolo, I want to make sure I mention him because I think he's a key part of it. I think the flip side would be this time of year, I kind of look at teams and I think, okay, how many question marks do they have? And the reality is, it feels like the Chiefs have a lot. I mean, if you look at them, the receiving core, I think you can question the depth. I think you can question what they're going to get from Rashee Rice. I think, the jury is still somewhat out on Xavier Worthy and Tyquan Thornton. It doesn't feel like any of those guys are really known commodities. I think you can probably say on some level the same for the offensive line other than Trey and Creed at right guard and center. Obviously those guys that are going to play have a lot of ability. They've got snaps under their belt now, but I'm still not 100% sure what they have with Kingsley or Josh Simmons or Jalen Moore. I do think that the running back position's been upgraded. Then you have how Patrick bounces back from the injury. Defensively, I think they'll be pretty good, but they've made a bunch of changes there on the back end, and they're counting on a lot of rookies. R. Mason Thomas, Peter Woods, Mansour Delaney. I mean, they need those guys to really play well this year. So they have a unique combination, I would say, of questions that need to be answered and rookies that need to perform well. And so I can easily see why people are putting several teams ahead of them because they have more question marks on paper than a lot of other teams in the AFC.
Who do you think is the best team, though? Because, that's always still the issue. It's like they might have more questions. That's fair. The Andy Reid, Spags, Patrick Mahomes part of it carries some weight, obviously, as you said. But it's like I can see some problems still with the Patriots or Broncos or Chargers, whoever it is that you're in there. It doesn't feel like – I guess I feel like there's no team that has a good roster or like a great roster that I don't have questions about whether or not their quarterback can do it again, I guess is my problem, Ross.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, a lot of people are really high on the Ravens. I would say, first-time head coach, first-time offensive play caller. I'm not sure I'm as high on the Ravens as other people are, but I can see where that's coming from. I do think the Bengals are going to be good this year. I actually think, for years it didn't feel like anybody in the AFC South was very good. This year I feel like the Texans, Colts, and Jaguars could all be good. We know what the Bills are and what they have been and whether or not their head coaching change can get them over the hump. You said it. I mean, the Patriots won the conference last year. And I do think the Broncos are a really good football team. I think the Broncos, probably would have been in the Super Bowl if Bo Nix doesn't, break his ankle. So I think your point is well taken that, it's not like the other teams are clearly head and shoulders above the Chiefs. I would agree with you. Where I think it might be different is it feels like there's a pretty high volume of teams that it wouldn't surprise me if they got to at least the AFC Championship game. I mean, 2 in the AFC East, probably 2 in the AFC North, 2.5, I'll call it, in the AFC South, and then, probably 3 in the AFC West. So it just feels like there's a pretty significant volume of teams where, if the Chiefs don't get that number 1 seed, first of all, it's going to be a battle just to make the playoffs. And secondly, even if they do make the playoffs, those would be 3 very losable games to get to the Super Bowl. Whereas it kind of felt like for most of this run that they would have the bye. Their first opponent wasn't really, a team that you envisioned the Texans or the Jaguars going into Kansas City and winning. So a lot of times it felt like they really just had to win the AFC Championship game on their home field. Whereas I don't think that's going to be the case this year.
We're talking to Ross Tucker, our Odyssey NFL insider here on 96.5 The Fan. I'm curious who the team is for you, but there's a team that, last year did not make the postseason that maybe now is going to bounce into either a divisional win or into the postseason. That team for me I'm high on is the Minnesota Vikings. I need you to talk me out of the Vikings unless you are also high on them. I'm a believer in Kyler Murray going to Minnesota with that weaponry that he has and, of course, Kevin O'Connell.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of people that agree with you because, they were very banged up on the offensive line. They had, bottom 3, certainly bottom 5 quarterback play in the NFL. If you go 9-8 with bottom 5 quarterback play, that's super impressive. I mean, really impressive. Now, defensively, they move on from Jonathan Grenard and their D tackles and Hargrave as well as Jonathan Allen. So is the D line up to task? Because they lost 3 of their known guys there, and I think it's the second most important position after quarterback. So that becomes, something to that becomes something to keep an eye on for sure. So I'll be looking at their D line. Certainly, it's hard to imagine Kyler Murray playing worse than what they got at the position last year. The real question is how much better will he be? Because it's an interesting fit for him because, that's a precision-based offense, kind of the McVay, Shanahan tree, and Sam Darnold did it effectively. Obviously, Kirk Cousins did it effectively. I'm curious to see whether or not Kyler Murray can be that type of detailed, precise quarterback that hasn't really been his style so far in his career.
Speaking of Ross Tucker here on our Odyssey NFL Insider over on the Golden Oak Lending Hotline, I want to ask you about what Roger Goodell said about international football. He had said today he thinks it's inevitable that there will eventually be a team permanently based outside the U.S. Do you think it works? Do you think he's right in that? I guess how long do you think it'd take, Ross?
Well, I would love it because I adore the sport, and I would love – I am totally in favor of anything that spreads the football gospel around the world. I mean, what if I had been born in, Denmark?
You'd have been a big soccer fan. You'd have been a soccer guy,
Yeah, guess what? Guess who's not good at soccer? The guys that are 6'5", 300 pounds.
Not many of them, no.
Okay? I played soccer from 5 years old until I was 11. I like soccer. It's a really good sport. But the first day of football practice, the first time I knocked somebody over, I was like, soccer schmocker. Like, wait, in this sport, you can just run over and knock somebody over? This is amazing. So anytime the NFL looks to grow internationally, I'm all in favor of it, especially for the kids. I mean, there's kids all over the world that think soccer is the best sport. I mean, it's so sad. Like, we need to make sure they know about American football and how amazing it is. Look, I think the only logistics is the only issue is the logistics, especially if you're talking like Europe, I think easily they could do a Canadian team like in Toronto. It just so happens they're so close to Buffalo that seems unlikely. Maybe it's a team in Mexico City or something like. I don't know, but I think the logistics are really the hardest part.
Lastly for you, Ross, I'm assuming you would have been honored if somebody wanted to wear your number back in your college days, not trying to prevent it from happening. Is that right?
You know what? I don't know enough about that. I guess I've read where, I don't know what his arrangement was with LSU, but I don't know if he donated money or they used his likeness, but they had told him that they would never let anybody wear it again, and then they went back on it. So I think that there might be more to meets the eye. I know this. I used to pray that the team, if they signed somebody, that they wanted my number so I could sell it to the guy. Because I like my high school number, my college number, but in the NFL, I'd much rather have the money than keep whatever number I was wearing at the time. Let's negotiate. Although the problem is, if they sign somebody that wanted my number, that means they're probably at my position, which would not have been good.
That's a risk for you, it's a double-edged sword.
Ross Tucker, our Odyssey NFL insider. Great to talk to you again, man. Congrats on the bump up there at CBS, and hopefully we'll check in here in a couple weeks.
Sounds great. See you guys.
Ross Tucker with us here on 96.5 The Fan. We hope to have him back throughout the season as well, but might be a little busier with the CBS gig now being an every week type of situation on top of his Westwood one. But we'd love to have Ross on. Good perspective from him. He mentioned, so he did confirm Tom Cruise was at the wedding. It is true. If you're at the wedding and you're dancing and you look over, it's Tom Cruise. It's pick what other celebrity. What a weird.
It genuinely
vibe.
might be more confusing to them, the celebrities, to pick out the people who are like Ross Tucker. Like,
well, they probably thought he was. They probably thought he was just some big famous person.
Who's that guy? Like Tom Cruise and Blake Lively, they know who each other are. But Blake Lively's like, who the hell's that guy?
Well, the story
That's Ross Tucker.
Ross Tucker, the story he referenced from the Dan Patrick Show when he was on with them a few weeks back, he told the story, and that's how I knew Tom Cruise was there, and that's why I was waiting to see if he was going to tell more of the story. But basically, he said that his wife, Tom Cruise, came up to his wife and acted like he knew her or something, and all these people were acting like they knew his wife. He's like, what?
And nobody knows his wife,
right.
But Tom Cruise is good to see you.
They all acted as if they knew each other. It's like, what?
Great.
He told the story better, obviously, than I did. I just gave you the
it wasn't your story.
It's not my story, but
that's fair.
But he told the whole thing. It was pretty funny. Anyway, thanks to Ross Tucker for
and congrats
joining us. Yeah, definitely congrats to him. While we were wrapping up there, Juju Smith-Schuster was cut by the New York Giants.
He'll be a Chief before I get home from St. Joe.
He might already be on a flight to Kansas City. You know what? Tyquan Thornton's a little banged up right now. Armstrong is battling with Jalen Royals. Maybe they just say, you know what? We need Juju. We need the Juju vibes back at camp, and we'll just bring him back.
You and I both know that if they
I'm
used
joking,
to be
but
a Chief.
I'm only saying that partially kidding. Partially kidding.
I don't actually need Juju here. There's at least a 50% chance he comes here now, though, because he's a free agent, and it's August 18th, and that just reeks of Juju Smith-Schuster is a Chief.
I'll put it at a 15%.